sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. With a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. I try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine your life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. She started off observing, she kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all of those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cup or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We have the
Hello.
co-host, Maggie, up here, and the co-host,
Hi.
Lizzo. Both are from the UK, but only Lizzo is English because Maggie is Scouser. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. If you can't understand these girls, just let me know. We'll slow them down just a little bit for you, but you'll get used to their voices. Hello, ladies.
Hello, dear.
Hello.
And I heard your comment, Lizzo, dumbass.
Mess.
I thought I just got it in there.
I
I
almost
was going to
clicked back
shout it
in.
back.
I almost clicked back in just to say something to you guys, and then Maggie went live. So I was so glad I didn't because imagine me saying "fucking bitches," and then everybody be like, "Oh, I'm out of here." All right.
It's me trying to be really professional, get it all in time and everything. And then I hear, dumbass.
All
Anyway,
right.
I can't wait for the live tonight because there's quite a bit to talk about, isn't there? With the,
There is. There
there's
is.
a few little things to think about. My head's everywhere still. I'm very messed up. Every time I think, yeah, that's the answer. Something happens and it's not. I give up.
I'm not giving up, but I am. I was just talking to Dawn in Messenger, and we were talking about nanny cans and things like that. And I'm like, I might have gotten tomato Tabasco hot sauce dude wrong, but then he's the only one that makes sense. I keep coming back. What do you
Yeah,
think,
I
Elizabeth?
can't. I can't get away from that. I
You
just
can't.
can't. I can't. No,
There's
Okay.
loads that I keep saying it. They're sticking to the guns with them.
I just
They're all
can't.
saying, "Why did you get that text message?"
Yeah.
All right,
I-
girls. Let's real quick do roll call and take attendance. Y'all, we're
Do
paying
it.
attention. Don't think we're not. We know
Okay.
when y'all are here and when you're not. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. And Carol believes that tomato hot sauce dude walked Nancy in the house and never left. Allegedly,
See?
check if Nancy's trash bins are accounted for. Ooh, remember JLR was saying that? He's like trying to talk to the trash guys. And he did
Those.
catch up with the couple, and they said they hadn't even been interviewed by the police.
Yeah, and
Mm,
those track marks, down the driveway that
yeah.
nobody even said anything about. That it looked like. Well, people were saying, could it have been like a wheelchair? Well, what if it were the wheels from a trash bin? What if that's how they moved her out?
Oh, gosh.
I know.
You know what? I didn't even see those. As long as we've been doing this since the second day we started our lives on this, and last week was the very first time I ever even seen those track marks.
Yeah.
I didn't even know them. But how long did Maggie find the blood droplets on the driveway and
Yeah.
nobody had even been talking about them? We were like,
But
wait,
And the
did
what?
you
blue top, yeah.
And the
did
blue.
you ever see at any point though where they've done like a fingertip search of that driveway? At
No,
no
No.
point have I
I
seen
mean,
it, and
if it
yet
was here, we'd have did a grid search, wouldn't we? Like everyone's just out and walking really slow in
I
lines.
saw. I was looking yesterday, and I saw like an aerial view from one of the drone cameras above the driveway, and it was a really clear picture. And I thought, that's just like it looks like just dirt, and the amount of footprints that I could see on that
Is
driveway. And I thought, so you're not telling me after this happened that there weren't any kind of footprint or nothing?
Mm.
There has to have been
wow,
somewhere.
wow,
Hi,
big
John
time.
from the UK. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Cheryl is here. Hello. Cooey Lou. Cooey.
Oh my God, blues
Let's
in
see.
here.
Jamie's
Mhm.
here. Lizzo is also modding from the panel. Thank God. It's tough, you guys. Me and Lou for first couple of hours while I'm live at nighttime are modding chat by ourselves, and I'm like, oh my God, these poor women. I can't imagine having to do this every night, sit here and watch every word for word and make sure that people are walking that line. Patrick Clark says, what time you want me to come over for a cuddle session? Bring some money. Listen, we're poor around here, Patrick. Nothing's for free.
Patrick, don't even flirt with it because you'll be sorry.
He's flirting with you. He says, Maggie, are you single?
He's flirting with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling you, everything is switched around here.
Oh my God. And you know what? John's just said that was another thing I was thinking. No, they only sealed off the driveway to Nancy's. They didn't do the whole street. They would
No,
normally do the whole street and have a little tiny bit left for people who lived there to get in, but they would have done the entire street. They didn't even do that.
no.
The more you think about it,
It's
it makes me
terrible.
think they knew more.
Hey,
You
Jay
know,
Brad,
obviously.
FBI here too, you guys, because we have
Hiya,
our own
JB.
sources.
Johnny,
Yeah,
hope you're feeling better.
yes, absolutely. You know, and I mean, not only did they didn't still off her whole house, but I mean, what was it, 30 hours, 30 to 40 hours, they released it again.
Yeah,
And that's when Brian Enton
Yeah.
just walked all the way up. And
Yeah.
listen, I would have done the same thing. Y'all, I would have walked. I'm not blaming Brian or anybody else that walked up to that property in the early days, because had he not, when would they have told us about the blood, if
exactly.
ever?
I know.
And then they come back and seal it up. Not once,
I mean,
not twice, but 3 times.
we've only just
Mhm.
found out that she didn't take her 10 p.m. meds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what does that
Yes.
tell you? Because apparently she was a stickler for taking her meds on time, and she
So
was home in
someone was
time
in
to
there.
take them. So that means did she even come home? That's what I'm now thinking. Did she even come home?
I'm thinking, was someone already in there? Did he just let her go
Maybe
in and he
so.
locked the door?
Because
Yeah.
there has
Why
to be a
was
reason she didn't take them.
definitely a distraction somewhere? I mean, they got her home early enough that she could have still done her bedtime routine, but she
Yeah.
did not take her meds. So that tells us there were some steps skipped in her
Yeah.
bedtime routine. Why?
Yeah.
We want to know why.
Yeah.
Hello,
Tashi.
Tashi. Hello. Good to see you. All right, guys. There's not a whole lot. I mean, I figured there is stuff to talk about, and like maybe things you haven't heard, like what Lizzo just said about not taking her nighttime meds, and me just finding out last week, seeing the rolling marks in the dirt and all of that. There, if you pay attention, there is little clues of things that we're getting at. But
I didn't even know that she had a what is it, like a security door over the front door?
Yeah, she has.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was her door.
No,
that
her
you mean the
door, there's
black
a screen.
screen?
Yeah,
You mean
there's
the
a
I
black
screen in
screen?
front.
I
Yeah.
never knew that. So now that's definitely he didn't get in that way.
No, he
He
was
was
in. Mhm.
yeah.
But so we're going to play the neighbor again. When this came out, I did a real quick live on it because I had another live scheduled for later that night, and I just wanted to get the information out so people can look it up and try to figure out for themselves, to talk about it, what they think by what the neighbor said. And then Maggie hasn't been feeling well the last couple of days, and she's been dealing with the sick dog. So I didn't want to bombard her and Lizzo with everything. So today's the first day we've all been able to get back and compare notes. So we want to play this again and just have a conversation about what you guys think about what the neighbor said. I was floored. Now we've always said that, or I've always said. Now, listen, I just want to put this out there, you guys. I don't give trigger warnings. We are a adult channel. We talk about all different kinds of stuff here. And some of it may be offensive to you. If it is, please just stage right, come back later. You'll probably walk into a completely different conversation unless it is one planned like this. I won't be offended at all. Second of all, I want to say your opinion matters here. None of us are going to blast you for thinking something different than what we think. Maggie, Lizzo, and I have covered this since day one, and we kind of think the same, but there are pieces of it that we haven't been able to come together on, and that's okay. That's because we know how to talk to each other about it, and we're not rude to each other about our own thoughts on it. So as long as you can put it, adultish in the chat, come down and tell us what you feel about this, because we've learned a lot from each other and just a different way of thinking about cases. I tend to look at the biggest thing that's screaming at me, while some people, like Lizzo, she's very good about looking in the background of things. And we've met a lot of people that are very, very good at looking in the background and saying, yeah, it's not always the most visible thing that's going on here. So that's where we're at. Jump on down, have a talk with us. You won't be blasted. You're welcome to your opinion. Just be respectful of other people's opinion. And listen, I love a good debate. I love me some debating. It's just when it gets ugly, I'm like done with it. So that's where we're at. We're going to, Maggie is going to pull up. Usually Lizzo and Maggie are the ones live at this time, and then I do a nighttime live. But since things have slowed down in the Guthrie case, we're just talking about things that we're learning as we're going along. And we want to know what you think about it too. Go ahead, Maggie and Lizzo. I'm going to shut the hell up now.
In touch with constantly. So I wanted you guys to hear my conversation with Laura. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's now, been more than 40 days. Where's your mind at right now?
I think I've appreciated having a little bit of a break the last week or two, where it's Nancy's disappearance isn't in the media all the time, in part because it gives me a break, because I've been contacted a lot. And it lets me kind of get on with my life and things that I've kind of put on hold for a while. But just like how I felt after the death of my parents, distance and time from the event gives you a little bit of calm and peace, but it also, you realize it's already been a month, and I can't believe they've been gone for a month already. So it kind of both sides, feeling a bit of sorrow, along with feeling like personally it's given me a little more space with my neighbors and to kind of carry on with my life, but also in complete disbelief that we don't know where she is. And that is troubling to me. I understand it though, and I'm not faulting anybody, but does feel extra troubling. And I don't, I think about Nancy's daughters and son-in-law and grandchildren. How do they get on with their lives, and how do they get on and with this, knowing that their grandmother and mother are still missing?
Yeah, the sheriff said, he was asked, do you think this person can strike again? And he said, absolutely, which is not something I've heard him say before. But then he went on to say, but we believe it was targeted, but we don't really know. Are you nervous? Are people nervous?
I saw that quote today, and I saw that he was just really talking with the NBC reporters. And I think it's a little bit ambiguous. I think it's targeted, but we're not sure. I'm just not quite sure what that means. But it did cause, my hair to raise up a bit when he said that. And it did give me, some time to think about what that means. And it made me a little bit uncomfortable being, a nearby neighbor. I was thinking about that today on my way home from my appointment. Like, okay, what does that mean? And does that mean there could be somebody else lurking around? Somebody that's just looking for easy targets? He said it was targeted, but targeted based on what? What's the target? Was it, I don't want to go through and give anybody ideas, but what was the target? Is it a ransom? Was it an easy, vulnerable person? Somebody living alone, somebody elderly? What's the target?
So can we talk about that, the target? What you think was the target, Lee, and the chas, and you, Liz? Because now I'm starting to think, did they ask for a ransom and it's only gone between, because it's normally between the FBI, isn't it? They don't say anything at all. You wouldn't even know about it until after.
Yeah.
Has it been ransom? It's got to be for something. It's either that or it's
Yeah,
Savannah.
I think it's an extortion thing. I still believe it's to do with this that Derek Colella guy that sent the fake ransom. I think there's a few of them that were involved, and that what they wanted was to get 6 million or whatever, and they would split it between them. That they knew that they had money because obviously he's a musician, Tommaso's a musician, and the common denominator of them all would appear to be that DJ Mojito, because he's a guy that works with Tommaso. He also works with that Colella bloke, Kayla Day. So he seems to be like the common denominator between them.
Yeah.
So to me, I think when Colella got caught, it kind of stuffed all that up, and it was like an abort situation.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm thinking more that there's something going on. Like Leanie said at the beginning, at the very beginning, she thinks that Savannah may have got an email that she didn't see, that maybe went into a spam box, whatever.
yeah.
And I think when they've gone in and says, you need to check this, that, and the other, that something's being found, or it's come about afterwards. Who knows? I don't know. But I think it's more down to a ransom now, and there's something, because they couldn't prove life, that she was alive, whatever. It's all
Hmm.
gone tits up now, and But John's saying it wasn't money. I think it's to hush it up. About what, John? About that thing she was looking into, the pharmaceutical.
I mean, that is
S-
the other thing I was thinking, because I was
yeah.
thinking the other day, could it be remotely possible that she went into like a witness protection, because
Well,
she was about to submit all this info, because they can't tell you when they go into witness protection.
but it said it's
So
a very hard thing. To get into witness protection is something really, really hard to do, and I'm not sure at their age they will go through what they're supposed to go through in order to be in witness protection. I was actually looking at that. This is a very hard for you to get into. It,
Let me
it, it
jump.
doesn't just happen. It takes a long time. Go ahead, Lee.
Let me just jump in real quick and welcome. Steve Tripp says, I'm an American and I hear English people talk from London or England. Wherever they sound so foreign and alien to me, but it's a fascinating accent. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm from
And hi to
Liverpool.
Shag. Good to see you, Shag.
Hi, Shag. So I'm from Liverpool, and Lizzo, the other lady, is from Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. You're in the car park.
In the car park.
I have, I did say in the beginning when Maggie and I were talking about this, maybe Liz was in on that, maybe we were all in Discord, I don't know. And I was saying that it's possible that Savannah Guthrie did get a email and it went to spam, or she just dismissed it because everybody, well, not me, because nobody cares, but a lot of people are stalked, especially if you are of something of kind of importance, and she's kind of a big deal, you guys. So maybe she did get something and then just blew it off because she's used to, crazed fans saying shit. Or maybe it did go to a spam folder and they were warning her, look, this is going to happen. Here's the deal. We're going to do it this way or that. And I think she just didn't get it. But then after the first after the 2 letters went to, when they started using TMZ, I don't remember what came first. Was it the news station or TMZ? I don't think we know, because the news people weren't really putting it out until TMZ put it out. And by the time they sent it to TMZ, I was like, yo, this is bullshit. Nobody's going to send a ransom note to TMZ. They are not the news. And they're just they're paparazzi is what they are. So that's when I was like, all right, I'm taking out the whole theory of a ransom and she was kidnapped for ransom. I'm thinking more that, oh my God, I saw the dog humping and it just totally messed me up. But anyways, I think then I started thinking, no, it was more to do with tomato hot sauce guy, needing more money from his mother-in-law. Maybe she cut them off and said, look, I'm done. Like, get some real jobs and pay your own bills. But now, you guys, I'm starting to wonder again if you guys are right about the ransom. And
I'm also thinking, what if they've gone in there to do a robbery because they know who she is, thinking that she's got a few, we say a few bob, she's got money in a state somewhere, she's been well off with Savannah, and they've been trying to get the number from the safe, and Nancy's been, or maybe she couldn't remember with fear, and they, the way you watch on movies and they're like, start terrorizing them and doing stuff to make them tell, and she's, they've hurt her really bad, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. And I keep going back to I just feel like I try to make things make sense in my head and why this would happen. But listen, I'm no criminal. And I mean, I'm criminal, all right, but I'm not that kind of criminal. And so I wouldn't know how they think. I would definitely be the one to get caught in anything I did, because
me too.
I'm weak. I wouldn't think of these great ideas until I'm like looking into these. But I'm no investigator, that's for sure. I just play one on YouTube. But I think a lot of what I was hearing in the beginning is starting to make a lot of sense to me. But there's so hi Lolly, hi Amy. There's so many different things now. Do you guys remember when Diamond Lucidity was coming in and she was talking about the gym show, the international gym show that was in Tucson that weekend, and the guy that was living next door, and then he moved out. And I was like, I did put it out there because it was her view, but I didn't expand on it too much, because I was just like, no, far-fetched. Like, those people already have money. What would be the sense? But now apparently they're looking into the guys that rented that house and moved out right afterwards. I mean, it's no wonder I can't get my head on straight about this, because every time I turn around, something else is a possibility. And it's all a
everyone's been
possibility.
the same. Everyone, I mean, I think if you've kept something from the word go, which in my heart, I felt that the family were involved. You and Lizzo felt Tommaso was. I think if you carry that and you've kept it all the way through, and it takes one little thing to make you start thinking of something else, and you're like, you're still thinking of that, but it's just, at least you're open-minded and you're not set.
There's so many different facets to this. Like, you can be focused on one thing, and like I have, you have, but then you'll hear something and it's like, whoa, well, it could be such and such. What if it is that then? There's too many different things coming out, and they've missed so many steps in this whole investigation. It's unreal.
Let me ask you girls this before you start playing again. Dawn brought this to my attention earlier, and do you guys remember when the FBI had stated that the sheriff's department was keeping information from them.
Yeah.
Remember when it came
Yeah.
to the DNA lab and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
glove? Okay,
Yeah.
so when we were talking about it, I got to thinking about that. Do you guys think that the sheriff's department, Sheriff Nanos, whatever, is still holding back information? Like,
100%.
and that, I mean, we know the FBI is going to figure their shit out, right? We know that.
Yeah.
But do you think the sheriff's office, because they don't want the FBI to be the one to solve
Yeah.
it, is
Yeah.
still
Definitely.
holding back information, hoping?
Yeah.
Because the
As long as
FBI
we
is
can.
now retracing all their steps. They're talking to
Yeah.
people by themselves now.
Yeah. I do believe he's withholding information.
Yeah.
He's being awkward.
Y'all, if that's the case, he needs to go to jail.
Of course he does. Someone needs to take him down. There's got to be someone that has the power to do that. Isn't he in there till 29?
8, I think. Wasn't it 8,
8.
Lizzo?
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah.
they were saying today that they've got to raise a petition. They have to get 120 odd thousand, I think, signatures.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
to get him removed. Because I
Get him
looked at it,
removed.
and they have to be from Pima County,
Yeah,
which
that-
sucks butt.
it does, because
Yeah.
otherwise they'd easily have him. You know, they could get him in no time.
Lolly says, who is well off and takes out second, thirds on their house? I don't know. Amy says, I'm still going with my first guy instinct, and that was the son-in-law. That's my problem. I started with him. I listen to what other people talk about. I go over it in my head and over it in my head to the point of obsession, and I always come back to the son-in-law. Always.
Yeah, me too.
And y'all, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be so wrong about that. John says, did they search the empty houses with forensics? They didn't do
No.
shit.
Even shit. He
They haven't even looked at
the front path.
him.
Hi, Jess. Hi, Jess Becca. Good to see you.
Hiya,
I mean,
Beck.
let's face it, they barely searched Nancy's, let alone flipping.
Exactly.
Went
That's why
in,
the
opened it up, and then
FBI
went
are
back
doing it
again.
now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely appalling the way he's done it. It's been awful.
Hi,
I mean,
Matthew.
I could have done that better.
Did you see that?
Brilliant.
Exploring with Jim found those beige
Yeah.
trousers and the knee brace. JLR
Yeah.
phoned it in. 2 days later, they still hadn't collected it.
Yeah.
It was just sat there.
This is what's making me think they know stuff, Liz.
Well, just like I mean, I'm surprised about that, but I'm not surprised anymore because the blue shirt, we all thought it was
Yeah,
maybe
just
just
a rag or
towel.
something.
We thought
Yeah.
it was a
From-
dog
from-
house or something.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. We were like, surely that's not a part of this crime scene because it's been sitting out there for days. We were just talking
Yeah.
about the blood. And then all of a sudden, oh, yeah.
We
That's what
used
we
it to
used
get
to
a scent
sniff
off it.
Nancy out. Mhm. Hi, Janet. Good to see Cowboy Cop. Tashi said, I think he's probably got a lot of doggy shit going on, maybe regarding funding, and that's why he doesn't want FBI in his books.
Is what we call a bank hopper. It's, he's up to no good. He doesn't want it to be investigated too much.
Mm.
Mm.
All right, let's keep going with this one, Mags. Thank you guys so much for being here. Will you hit the like for us? That's all we ever ask, and we appreciate it so much.
You know what? So, and that's what kind of went through my mind today. What is the target exactly that they're talking about? It has to be one of the above. Somebody that, had some wealth, somebody who's vulnerable. Okay, 1, somebody who's vulnerable. 2, somebody who lives alone. 3, someone with an easy to access home. 4, I mean, you can go through 4 or 5 possible reasons she was targeted, including, having a famous daughter of some wealth.
Yeah. All right, guys, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of today's episode, Surfshark. Have you ever tried to watch a video, but it says that you can't watch it because of the country? Just knowing the area. I mean, do you have what does your gut tell you?
My first thought was that it was a target based on who her daughter is. I mean, that was my sense just from the start. I didn't really consider any other possibilities, in part because I knew I knew she lived there. I knew who her daughter was. When I would walk by, I would always, I always noticed her house and whether she was there or not, and outside. And I always thought that that was a potential, for me, the strongest possibility that maybe it was a crime of opportunity versus looking a little deeper at, other people in Tucson. This might just be someone that you became aware of that had a famous daughter. So that was always the reason I think somebody targeted, but who knows? I don't know the answer to that. And I don't like to speculate. And I always also assumed it was two people because of the person who was at the front door. And he was standing there, and I don't think he was the main person. I think he was the guy outside who was waiting for them to come out. Because if you have a gate like that, a security gate on the front door, you're not getting into that. You're never going to break into that security gate. I mean, I actually talked to a security guy about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he confirmed you're not breaking into those gates. So I think, and she has glass on both sides of the door, and I think he was trying to see in. So when he was standing there, he wasn't trying to figure out what to do. He was trying to look in to see what was going on. And also, because you have a security gate, the door, the wooden door, if that's open, it's hard to see inside if it's dark, because I have one of those. You can't really see if the door is open or not. So I think he was standing there waiting for someone to come out. And so I've always absolutely assumed there were at least two people, possibly three. Being someone who has had to help my elderly mother at the time, who was only 120 pounds, try to get her up 3 or 4 stairs. It's hard. It's hard when someone is not wanting to be moved or is not able to move. So the thought that one person could move, a 140, 150 pound woman who's maybe not wanting to move is not, for me, reasonable to think that it would just be one person.
Like one person could do that, yeah.
Yeah, no. Having lifted my parents, right?
Yeah, I think that's one reason you talk about your parents. I think that's one reason so many people are so invested in this story.
Yeah.
Because they think about their own parents.
Yeah.
And you're always worried about your parents when they get old and people taking advantage. And you hear about all the scams today. You know what I mean? I think this resonates with people for that reason.
I think it does. And I think people, I am sure it's caused people to look at their own parents' living situation. I mean, my dad used to live right there, and this you can see in that building attached to my house, and safety. We moved him there. That was one of the reasons, for his own safety. And so you think about your parents all the time, and I'm sure you don't want hindsight to be 20/20, but unfortunately, that's when you start looking at things like many of us have. We started examining our own homes and situations, and what else are we secure? Is there something more we can do? Can I have a brighter camera? Do I need more cameras?
So are you going to make changes for yourself, you think?
Yeah, without disclosing.
Yeah, I understand. But it's actually making you do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would too.
Yeah.
You're so close to Nancy's house. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, most people, I think, are kind of reconsidering their own situations and looking for vulnerabilities. In fact, I know the sheriff's department, I think they have a corps, like a volunteer corps, that will do security inspections for your home and look for vulnerabilities. And so I became aware of that, and I've been sharing that information with people who I happen to talk to.
Has the FBI or detectives, have they come here at all?
Yeah. I think the sheriff's deputies were here twice. FBI was here probably 3 times, including last Friday. They, of course, you get a knock at the front door. I'm like, And I can see, I've got the big window there. I can see who's there, and I made him flash his badge before I opened the door. which I wouldn't have done before, to be honest. And so they came, they had more dates they wanted to look at, and we sat and looked through my cameras.
Oh, specific dates?
Yeah.
Do you mind saying what dates those were? I mean, I know January 11th has been a big one with the other name. Did that one come up?
Yeah, we went back through, and I don't know if there was more to why they asked, because I've already gone through my cameras, and really there was nothing on there but wildlife. And the other date was the 24th.
The 24th of January, they were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Do your cameras face like all over the sides of the house, or what?
I'd rather not say exactly where they face.
Yeah, I understand.
But the one that did record a series around that date were just picking up animals.
Animals,
Yeah.
okay. But they had specific dates they were interested in.
Yeah.
Did they seem anything else they asked you that sort of stood out?
No, I think they just wanted to. Maybe it was a different group of people. I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't the same guys who came, but they just basically asked the same questions that I'd been asked before. We spent about maybe 25 minutes together, and that was it. We went through. I think in some part they want to make sure that people understand how to look through their cameras, and they're looking. And of course I do.
Yeah.
It's just I don't really have anything to show them, unfortunately. There's nothing on there. But I think in part they wanted to make sure that people, were accurately looking through the footage.
Yeah.
And I think in some cases I do know of some people that just turned over their footage and said, you can, here's all these dates, please take a look. Mine aren't really worth doing that because there's not much on there.
Has there been anything that stood out to you since you lived here for more than a decade? Like anything strange that's ever happened? Well, I'll ask you that first.
Yeah. One time I had some friends who were here. I was out, they were staying here, and they told me, hey, just let you know, there were some people that walked up to the front of your house and they were taking a bunch of pictures of your house from the front. And I was just, I didn't hire anybody to do any work. And I didn't give any permission to take pictures of the front of my house. And if you can see, you can't see the front of my house from the street.
Right.
You have to walk up my driveway. And so that was alarming. And I thought about that the other day, but this was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just going to assume that they liked the look of my house.
Yeah, well, you do have a very nice house. So.
I just want to assume that maybe they liked the way it looked. But that was a little, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen that before.
Well, like you said, your house is like you really have to come up to it.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere near the road. One thing I've heard a lot from neighbors is, and even from some of my sources, is like there's a thought that one possibility is the person who did this could be close by, just because they haven't been able to track the cell phone from what we know from outside. You know what I mean? Like,
That's weird to me. I don't. And they did actually check. Actually, one more question that they did ask me last Friday is whether my internet went down that night. And I said if it did, I was asleep, and it probably came up the next day. And plus, I have a new internet service from that time to 2 weeks ago. I had to change internet service. So, but I looked back on my Xfinity account to see if it cut out, but I didn't find anything.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, that's, it's entirely possible, but I kind of know who's in these, and they're all like me, they're all meaning, they're all kind of normal people.
Yeah.
I did, notify the, like day 1 or 2 or 3, notified I got a call with, I think it was a special agent, I think it was FBI, that there was a recent turnover, and there's not that many rentals around here, but there was a rental nearby, and whoever lived there had moved out within a few days of this happening. They had moved out a few days before because the cars were gone. So I just became, see something, say something. So I thought it's probably nothing, but I'm just gonna call. I'm going to talk to them and just let them know that there was somebody living there and they're not there anymore. And so I confirmed with a couple of the neighbors, did in fact you see those cars aren't there. He said, yeah, they just moved out.
Yeah.
And these neighbors that I spoke with didn't have any footage of it because it stops at their driveway.
Well, that's the thing people don't get is the footage here. People's houses are set back.
Yeah.
It's not like footage from the front door is gonna get people out on the street or, you know.
Well, and I think in neighborhoods where it's just a regular neighborhood, houses are closer together, and they're not set back behind, you know, greenery, trees, shrubs. It wouldn't be that out of ordinary to catch cars passing by. I know in California, my house did. You know, every time I got in my car in the driveway, my neighbor's lights would go on from across the street.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, but I realized it's probably a good thing, you know,
Right.
that anytime there's motion in my driveway, his cameras pick up my every movement. So so this is just not the kind of neighborhood where there are those kind of people. I pretty much know in all those houses, I know who lives in all those houses around the corner. I'm not going to stay the street, but around the corner. Yeah. I know her next door neighbor. I know the people up the cul-de-sac. I know who everybody is. So it's, you know, they're kind of all.
What's the mood among the neighbors? I mean, you seem pretty calm.
It varies. I mean, I'm always pretty calm, you know, because it's, you know, the wheels just start spinning, and I want to go and find out what's going on. I'm not the person who goes and tries to pretend like it's not happening, or I want to know what's going on. And I went out and talked to neighbors. I checked on some of my older neighbors to make sure they were okay within days of that happening, because I hadn't seen my one neighbor walking his dog, and I kept going to his house to see if he was there. You know, so that's, you know, I kind of, you know, you see there's quite a few older folks in the neighborhood, and I like to consider I'm not one of the oldest in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I have the bandwidth to go and check on a couple of neighbors, and like the people right across her on the cul-de-sac, you know. So I think people have different, you know, there are people who don't want to you know, they try to stay as far away from this as possible. They know what's going on, but they don't want to obviously talk to reporters. And I understand that for sure. They don't want to, but everybody's still, I talked to some neighbors a couple of days ago, and everybody's still, you know, pretty broken up about it.
Yeah, most of the neighbors.
Some people are still pretty traumatized.
I think so.
The ones who are more of her peers have known her for a long time.
And most of the neighbors have been like, "Oh, we're happy it's still on the news.
Yeah.
You guys should stick around. Like, we want them to find Nancy." There's been a few who have said, you know, "Get out of here. You know, it's time. You're vultures." It's been kind of a mix. But most people, I think, want it to stay kind of top of mind in some ways.
Yeah, I probably would put myself in that group because, and it's helpful to the Guthries. The more it stays in the news, top of mind, the more people, you know, the chips are probably slowing down, right? And the more it stays in the news, the more people say, "Oh, that's right. Whatever happened with that case?" So it keeps it top of mind, and I'm sure that it's helpful to law enforcement to keep it out there versus people forgetting about it. I think for me personally, I don't mind it, but then again, I don't live right next door.
Right. Yeah. I won't say where you are, but you're close. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm close.
Yeah.
You know, backyards.
Yeah.
But you know, I know that there was somebody poking around in my neighbor's backyard at 3 a.m. last week. And he wasn't like one of you kind of media guys. He was a new media guy, you know, like a YouTube media guy.
And the night you said?
YouTube guy. 3 a.m. She happened to be out with her dogs, letting her dogs out. She's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?"
On her property?
Well, her property, the neighbor's property comes up to her wall, and they were on the other side. So it was technically her neighbor, but she was out in her yard. It'd like be seeing somebody on the other side of my wall there. And she went and talked to him. He's like, "You know, you can't be there. You're trespassing on somebody's property." And people have guns around here. You know?
Yeah.
Some people have guns, and some people are more than happy to, you know.
Also in the middle of the night like that. I mean,
3 a.m. And he came up and talked to her, but that's still not okay. I mean,
that's really scary.
Yeah. So I think people see all this open space, and I think well, I'm going to find her. I'm going to claim that money, and I want to be the one to find her. And so I'm going to step over there because there's no houses and there's all this open land, but it's actually somebody's property. You can see back here, there's 2 or 3 acres back here, and it belongs to someone, right? So that's the sort of thing people don't like.
Yeah, that's
They don't like
understandable.
people to step over the line.
Yeah.
And for the most part, media, people like yourself understand, you have to, to get information, you have to be able to be assertive, and you have to be able to go up to people, and you have to, and that's for the most part, people understand that, and they'll say yes or no, I don't want to talk, or I do want to talk. But it's these other people that aren't media trained, they don't know what the rules are, the laws are, that, I think for some people has been a nuisance.
Have you had any frustrations with law enforcement? I mean, we've heard so much about the sheriff since we got here.
No, my first thought was hearing him talk. It was a little cringeworthy, because I thought, oh man, that was not probably the best thing to say. But I can't say that he's not doing his job, because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe he's not as well media trained. I don't know. But so I can't criticize what he's doing, because I don't know what's happening. And that's okay. We should not know everything that's happening. It's really, if it in any way impacts the investigation, if it negatively, impacts the investigation, or it's giving too much information, just because people want to know doesn't mean they should. So I don't know which way. I don't know if he's doing a good job or a bad job. I just know that it's not necessarily my business. And if I don't like it, then there's the next election,
Right.
But I think it's just he caught off guard with the media. And I understand that there was some things going on there too with his personal life. So.
Anything else that you think is important?
No, other than that,
hasn't been reported or that people, should know?
No, I just hope that people keep thinking about this case. I hope that people will continue to especially people in Southern Arizona, keep their eyes open. I can tell you, every time I go out in public, I am looking. It's like I've got Google glasses on, and I'm putting my little AI on faces to see because I feel like I know what this person looks like. As soon as we saw the image, I said, this is how tall he is. This is how much he weighs. He's got bow legs. He's got lady hips.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I was like, okay, I know who this person, I don't know him, but I know what this person looks like. And I think a lot of people kind of figured out, some people thought it was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. And so, keep your eyes open, and probably nothing that the sheriff hasn't already said to people. But I personally am always, kind of scanning when I go out, to be honest. At some point it will probably stop. I'll start forgetting, but for now.
Probably smart to do that, yeah.
Yeah, and anybody walking up my driveway is gonna, I'll probably put up signs, no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
Myself, so that I don't have to get into a situation where, it's a terrible thing. Because at one point in our, history over the 30 years, it'd be fine for somebody to come to your front door. And they still do here, believe it or not. I have people coming trying to sell me things to my front door.
Well, I was kind of nervous coming to your front door, just because it's a walk up, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like people are on edge here. So for a guy to walk up, I'm just like,
Oh, I knew who you were though. But no, it's, my dogs always tell me when somebody's coming up the driveway.
Yeah.
So
you have big dogs too. So
yeah. And I knew, I recognized you. But you can see in my house, and I can see who's coming up the driveway from over that corner and that corner. So I'm not overly worried, but I am probably a little bit more aware, because the person coming to your house, it says they're trying to sell you their truckload of asphalt, or they see that I could use a yard service, or I could use a new roof. Maybe that's not really what they're selling.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to come up to the door and see who's here.
Just my last thing, a lot of people have brought up like contractors. I guess that's a thing here where there's just kind of, I hate to say shady contractors, but some people have told me that, like there's people coming around, oh, let me clean your windows, let me look at your roof,
Well, there's a lot you can see. You've probably heard some of it going on. Just right near her house, there was a new roof. Somebody got a new roof the last 2 days in the cul-de-sac over there. He moved. He's moving. He moved to San Diego. He was planning on it already. So there were people there, and I was watching because I could see from my back of my house who was up there. Over there is construction. There's always construction. Somebody's doing something to their house. They're doing an addition or doing a new roof or something, remodeling. And so there's people around. And so I had said that previously to someone that at any given point, there are a lot of vehicles around. Most of the time you see what the name of the construction company is. But there are a lot of them. And I can tell when I was standing on her street, talking to a neighbor a couple weeks ago about something else, I could tell there were cars driving by, and I was just talking to her. I said, look, they don't live here. They don't live here. They don't live. I can tell who lives here because you see them around, and they have Arizona plates usually when they live here. They don't have plates from a rental car, rental company. So when trucks come around, to be honest, now I'm probably if there's unmarked vehicles, trucks, vans, trucks, service vehicles, I'm going to be looking a little bit harder, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I hate that I have to do that, but I just, for now, feel compelled to be looking over our shoulders a little bit more, especially since the sheriff said it's targeted, we think, and everybody should be on alert, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you. Really appreciate Laura.
Okay. So where are we? So that's who they're talking to now, aren't they? It's going on about the construction in the area. So they want to speak to them now. I was saying to Lenny this morning that there was a guy that was doing the maintenance outside on the road at the edge of the properties, and he said that he was never questioned.
So many people not questioned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's scary. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Will you guys do us a favor and hit the like? That's all we ask. We appreciate you so much. Jump into chat and let us know what you think about this case. We entertain anything, and listen, nothing is too far-fetched right now because none of us really know anything. We're just here talking about the case and bouncing ideas off of each other, and sometimes we find out that somebody may know something more than what we know, and that's really interesting.
I think she's brave though, Lenny, coming on and saying things, like she's looking at people she can recognize. She feels she knows that person. I'd be like, oh, I would have been a bit scared.
Well, JB, who is a retired FBI agent of 20 years, she is in chat. She's fantastic here and been a wealth of knowledge through the crimes that we've covered here, and we appreciate her. She was saying in chat when this first started going off that, how dangerous this is for her. And, you could probably just go back through, listen to her own words, pull up Google Maps, and figure out exactly what house she lives in just about.
Yeah, because she's saying what she can see from the sides, and what she can see someone's roof getting done at the back, that they've moved out. It'd take 10 minutes to work out where she is.
Right. And I'm not saying she did that on purpose. I think that is as diligent as she's trying to be, like with watching around her, she let one of her biggest guards down, and that's what happens with the media and stuff like that, right? I'm not saying that Brian Enton or the people that he works for tried to, because he was giving her just room to talk. That's what I do. I give people room to talk, and usually you'll find out everything you need to know just by letting them talk too much. So,
I wonder if
um,
her house is the one that you could see from the door that night that has all the lights on. That was up on like a hill. Wondered if it was that one. Who knows?
I thought she sounded like she was behind.
I think she's like we were looking at Google Maps this morning, Maggie, and I was zooming out because I knew she was talking about a cul-de-sac. And the
Yeah.
cul-de-sac is exactly right in back of Nancy's house. That circle right there. And then if you zoom
Yeah.
out, you can see like 3, maybe 4 houses on there. The house right behind Nancy is at the very end of the cul-de-sac there. And she talks about how she's pointing behind her when she says it. So she could actually be on the other side of the cul-de-sac as well, but it's not hard it wouldn't be hard to find her. And it's just so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And then, like JB said, she put her face on camera. And
It makes me think though, because did she say she'd been away? She'd gone away for a bit. She'd
I
had a
think
break and been away.
I thought that was the other lady who said that. The other, I could be wrong. I
thought she just said she'd been away or something and come back.
I know she said one of the neighbors had been away and come back. That she went to go check on the neighbor. She went there a couple days in a row and he had been away. But I don't know if it
I
was
thought
her.
she said she'd had a break away or something, because I was going to say if she's been away, was it her that rented that house or that let the media stay in that house? Because some of the media were in a house behind, weren't they?
I think so. Maggie was asking me, did somebody live in that house or was it empty? I couldn't remember.
I thought they said it was empty at the beginning.
That's what I thought. They said that it was the one behind was empty and the media had rented it or something. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were saying that for the gym show that it was the house next door, one of the houses next door.
The house next to Nancy.
The house next door was the gem show guy.
Okay, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I knew I'd heard something. Yeah, but I had no clue the house behind them was empty. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was empty, because someone rented it. That's what I was thinking when she said someone was in that house and they left. I'm thinking, is it them that rented it? You know, that you just don't know, do you?
No. And the first person that gave an interview to Brian Ensign, I mean, I was confusing the two when I said that when Jay Brad was talking about in chat how dangerous this was for her to be doing this. I said, well, she talks about her neighbors and what they know and what they've said and stuff like that, and kind of gave.
And not only that, she said that she'd recognise them again or whatever. She feels like she'd recognise them. Well, you've just put a target on your head then.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I found funny about that, Lizzo, is that how many times have we pulled up pictures of different people that their names are in this and we were just, we're doing like everybody else. We're checking it out. We want to know about it too. And how many times have we pulled up? I know at least 2 different men. We've seen their picture and I've been like, I know him. Where do I know him from?
Yeah.
I've seen him before. And of course I have never seen them before. I don't live in Arizona. But it's like something is so familiar. I don't know if it's because I stare at the damn pictures too much, I research this too much or what. But do you guys feel like there's something so familiar about the person on the door cam?
Say that again, Lee.
When you see the picture, the video or a picture of the guy on the doorstep, do you not feel like there's something familiar about him? Like, okay, I've seen this.
Yeah, because it's like when you see them walking, it's almost like you've seen that walk before. I recognise that.
It just reminds me of somebody I know. I think so and so, it was a person that I actually know.
Oh, really?
Or holds themselves the same. Yeah, that's what it makes me think. I get a picture in mind of somebody that I know that actually walks like that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about her theory of him not being the person that is actually in the house right then. He walks up to the back door to the front door. And he goes up there because he's supposed to be let in through the front door. What do you guys
Yeah, I
think
believe
about that?
that
That
now.
somebody's
Yeah,
already on
yeah.
the
Somebody's
inside?
already in there and opening the door for him.
Yes, he's already in there. And I think we were talking about that this morning, about how he got in, where he got in, wherever, where he parked the car. So
Uh-huh.
remember when we seen Liz and Chas, where on the video you see the masked guy. He comes from, as
From
you're
the
looking at it, he comes from the left, from the sideway.
yeah.
Now,
where the-
if you all remember, if you watch JLR or any of the YouTubers in the daytime and looking at the house from the road towards the garage,
Mm-hmm.
you could never, if a car went in and went behind them bushes by the garage, Liz, you couldn't see that car.
Yeah, you didn't see it, not in dark,
You'd be
no.
like, have they gone yet? Have they, even in the light, have they gone yet? And then you'd see them pulling out and you go, oh, here they are. So I
Mm.
think he's gone there and that's where he's parked. And that's the cameras, because was any of the cameras, as far as I know, the cameras on the front of the house weren't working. It was just the Nest camera on the door. And the ones
The
at the back were
Nest camera
broken
on the
off.
door stopped working apparently.
At like
Or
1:47
I
or
think this
something
is
like
where
that.
he saw this.
No,
This
but I
is he
mean,
thought it
before,
wasn't working.
as he approached the house, right, there was nothing picked him up on cameras as far as we know. The cameras at the front of the house weren't working. The
Oh,
Yeah,
only
they were
one,
the ones. There was like some floodlit ones next to, you know, where you
yeah,
go into the porch. Next
yeah,
to
yeah,
there,
that comes on
he'd broken
automatically,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, he
But
broke
what I
them.
mean is, it wasn't a camera. But them, they were broke, so they went down. What I mean is, the only camera was the Nest camera that caught them. Right, so what I'm thinking, he's parked there and he's walked around. That's where I am adamant he's parked, because you just could barely see it in the daytime. And I think the other perp that went into the house has gone through, remember me and you were looking, Liz, at the
Mm.
side of the little holiday home thing, what's it called?
The casita or the guest
To
house.
see, yeah,
The
the
guest
guest house.
house, yeah, the guest house, the holiday home, the guest house. I think he's gone through the side there, that gate that we found out was there, and he's gone in that door there to the garage, and that's how he's
Mhm.
entered the house.
So you
Yeah,
think he
Through
went
the
in through the
garage.
blue door?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
I
he's
don't
took
think
the
so.
cameras there because he's walked underneath, so the cameras couldn't get him. He's slid, he's come through that gate, he's gone to the right, which is the little house, and he's broke the camera there, or he's done something, he's took it, whatever he's done, and then he's gone under the porch, he's took the cameras out there, no one could see him because he's underneath, and then he's gone in.
Do you know why I don't think he went through the blue door? Because if you look back on all of the footage of the police being there and the FBI and the prosecution and everybody that was there, they never use any other door except for the blue door, which tells me that they're not worried about evidence being there. They never use the front door. They never use the sliders
No.
unless they were investigating by Nancy's bedroom.
I think they
and
went in through Nancy's bedroom.
I think they did too.
Well, I did too, but now I'm thinking, no, he's gone in that. I don't know. That's just my thinking.
Right. And I
That
mean, you could be right, but I just don't understand why it doesn't show them going in through the very back door that's underneath the back porch, or
Mhm.
why they're not going through the front door. Because I think that the reason why they're
Well,
not is because
they did come out on that video that I've got. You do see them coming out from under the porch from a door there, and then they go into that other blue door.
oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did go
Okay.
in them doors. They have been in that other
yeah.
one under
They
the
came
porch.
from the porch from a door, and then they went in that other blue door at the side there.
Okay. That makes a
You
little
can hear
well,
tapping,
remember,
Keith. Can you
I'm
hear
sorry,
tapping?
it's me. I'm cutting what are these things called? Um Brussels sprouts.
Are you peeling Brussels
Sorry.
sprouts?
No, I'm just cutting them up, putting them into a casserole. Because y'all know I hate to
Do you
cook, so I'm
cut
getting
your
this out of the
sprouts
way.
up?
I'm put Brussels sprouts. Don't you know what Brussels sprouts are, girl?
No, I don't cut them up. I just peel the bit off and then throw them in.
Oh no. I'm putting them in a casserole, so I'm kind of browning them and then putting them in this casserole. So they're
I love
kind of crispy
sprouts.
instead of being, I don't know, mushy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Nice slow cook. So then I like all my veg soft. I can't stand crunchy veg.
Oh, I
them
like it
boiled
when
to
they're
death.
like, I like it when they're a little bit crispy on the outside.
Well, I've never had veg crispy like that.
No, you need to
And
come get steak.
Lou told me about that, to do them a roasting in the air fryer. But you know me and air fryers don't go. Anyway,
Oh yeah, the air fryer hates
Jam,
you.
this live is about the missing 84-year-old lady from Tucson, Arizona. We're all just giving our own theories, what we think, just to people who are all in the same minds. We just want to talk about it and hear everybody else's ideas, and that's what the live's about. So, yeah. So Jams is too young for this, JB. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Jams. Thanks very much, hon. Thank you. So, yeah, so that's my thinking. I was thinking that he went through. First of all, I thought he got through the front door, obvious. But then I think when I seen that side bit that you was telling us about, Lee, and then me and Lizzo got pictures of it to see it properly, I think that he could have got through there. And then I thought she'd had the doors open because it was warm and she wanted fresh air. But then Leanie said, but Maggie, them places, they'll have air conditioning, so they wouldn't need to have a window or a door
Exactly.
open.
No, the one.
So I thought, right, yeah, you're right, okay. And then I started thinking about that car being parked behind that tree, bushes, whatever it is. You can't see it hardly in the daytime. You know, if JLR hadn't told us it was there, we wouldn't have known until it pulls out.
Mhm.
And I think he's gone there down the side to get
That's
into
assuming
that.
they. I mean, who's to say that they even pulled a car up there? What if they
True.
did
Yeah.
put her in a trash? You know, what if those 2 track marks were not from a wheelchair? What if they were from the trash bin?
What if them track marks are from her getting dragged?
Well, you could tell they're like little wheel
They're like
marks.
wheels, Mark.
Yeah, they're
Wheels.
definitely wheels.
I don't think I've seen them.
I just saw it last week. I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, how did we miss this?
How do yeah? Because they're
And
too narrow to be a car, so it has to be something like a wheelchair or
or a
or the
trolley,
trash
some
can.
type of trolley or something. They've got a
Yeah,
works trolley. Anita
yeah.
Martin, no, they haven't found her. Still not found her. No, yeah, it could. I mean, it could. I don't know. Maybe it works. That's another thing. The dates that the FBI were interested in was both Saturdays. So I'm
Yes.
thinking he's been looking and he's been trying to work out what's happening. You know, if she goes to her daughter's, she goes to Annie's every week, yeah?
Every Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
So every Friday it is. Oh, okay. I thought it was a Saturday.
It
No,
could be a
but,
Saturday,
I'm
actually. I
thinking,
can't remember. Could be a
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's a Saturday because she missed church
Yeah.
on Sunday morning.
yeah, okay, so it's a Saturday. So I'm thinking,
Mhm.
okay, is he stalking around the house? Is he watching the house then? Because he wants to see if any of them ever go in with her.
Or to see what time they usually bring her home,
Yeah.
what light she normally
And
turns on
about
in the
that
house.
night, yeah. What
Yeah,
she
that makes
does,
a lot of sense.
you know, that's what I'm thinking. Is he watching to see, is it a regular thing that whoever brings her home goes in with her? How long
Mhm.
do they stay in there? And, you know, so maybe he's been watching longer. Maybe he's watched from afar that any cameras haven't picked him up. He's just been watching. You know, even for him to watch that, he's even getting sites where blind spots are and stuff
Mhm.
like that. You know, if he's watching the car driving in. And now that's another thing, guys. Have you seen the route that Annie's supposed to have shared to the neighbourhood
Yeah.
app, whatever. Now, how have they come up with that route?
High damage.
I
I'm not
damage.
sure. I don't know. She just asked
See,
everybody on that route to check the cameras, didn't she? But how does she
I'm
even know the
thinking
route?
this is my mad theory. So I'm thinking, do you remember when the lady said she's seen a car and it was going at high speed going past the night that Nancy went missing and around the time?
Yes. 8 minutes after. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, what if the car was parked on the road, the truck, whatever, was parked on the road. You couldn't see any identification on it, you know, so it looked like a truck, that it could be any truck. And the only time they noticed that truck was there was when the headlights went on and they know which way it went. And that truck's being picked up on a few cameras, but they still can't identify it. So they're asking people to keep an eye out going that way in case they can get some identification from it from different cameras. That was just my thinking.
Well, they kept
What does
saying that
everyone think?
one of the cars that drove past, they identified it as a white Kia Soul. That's what they were saying.
But I was thinking they didn't show interest in that then, did they? It was over. It's like they already knew what they were looking for.
Well, the sheriff
Yeah.
said he was looking at that. He's looking at that car and the hundreds of thousands of cars that passed through there that night. Okay, we can't believe a word the sheriff has to say. 100 of thousands of cars that passed through there that night.
Yeah.
Bitch,
There were only
we
about
saw the
12
video.
cars, I think.
We counted. There wasn't
Yeah.
even 15. Okay, I don't know
Exactly.
what street you're looking at, but we're not looking at the same street. You know what's funny about that? You should say that because y'all know that there was a murder across the street from my daughter's house, and it was
Yeah.
a lot like this as well. Just there was no kidnapping; it was a stabbing murder as well. And the police canvassed the neighborhood and all that, took everybody's cameras and stuff like that. And they see the perpetrator. You can see the perpetrator walk 3 times. He walked up to the lady's house, back away from the lady's house, and walked back up the road, the lady's house. And then he is seen getting into, at the end of the street, he is seen getting into a white van. That almost was 4 years ago, you guys.
How far is
And
that from Arizona?
No, I'm just saying that, you know, you could
Have
have,
you done
you
that?
could
No,
have the
have you done
guy,
it before?
yeah,
Just
you could
don't
have
know.
this, you could have a guy walking, you know what I mean? And I don't, they never put out that if he was in a ski mask or anything like that. And then they
Yeah.
put out that he did get in a white van and he left. So, and her body was left right there outside of her house. So what I'm saying is, I mean, it's possible if you don't have tags, and sometimes even when you have tags, those criminals, y'all, they steal tags just to go do this. They're not dumb. They're not dumb.
Oh God, so what if they put it in a wheelbarrow? See, that's just come in my head.
Yeah.
You know, they've got it from the gardener if there's been construction getting done, or the gardener has it as a wheelbarrow. What if they
Yeah.
put it in one of them?
Yeah.
See, I don't think that if there was a vehicle pulled up, and I think that they got her out of there with a vehicle. I just do. I don't know if the vehicle's parked down the street or on the property. I don't know, but I just think it's safe to say that she left that street in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I
How they
think
got
so
her to
too.
the vehicle, we don't know. But if the vehicle was parked on the property, I think the vehicle is parked on the other side where the pool is.
Yeah, I
Because
thought that first.
they won't tell us where the cameras are. It has been, we've been watching where they took them off of the pool house, and it's kind of, you know, people are saying this is where that camera is shooting from. The last thing that I saw that somebody had said was there were 2 cameras on the pool house, which I believe that because I remember seeing that lady up there and she was working at 2 different sections of on top of the pool house. And they said that one of the one that was on the very back of the pool house, they believe that one was showing the whole backyard, pointing towards the pool. And then the one that was in the front of the house was actually right above the sliders that you see as you're coming up the driveway to turn into the garage was right there, and that was pointed all the way down through the driveway. So that's why I believe that that car did, unless they disconnected those cameras prior to that, which is highly possible. I've always said that I think this was done a couple days prior, that the cameras were disconnected. I mean, I would just be safe to say, I mean, obviously the guys knew where the cameras were. I think it'd be safe to say to pull over to where we saw the pool guy pull into. That's just my theory. It's easy to get in it, jump over her little 3-foot wall there to get into her bedroom.
Yeah.
Or just walk the pool area and come in through that gate and then go underneath, back that way. That's just what I think. And I think the reason why we see him coming from the side where the garage is at, when we see him walk up, I think that's just where he's taking out cameras.
But
And
what if he's coming from that way you've just said, and he's going towards the porch at the back? Wouldn't the camera on the guest house have picked him up?
well, the police already said that they did have footage from the back of the house, but it doesn't show anything that has to do with the abduction. So that tells me that the cameras weren't working that night.
Yeah, they weren't working, or they weren't working anyway.
Mhm.
But
But it doesn't matter.
seem to be-
Let's just be
Yeah.
real, you guys. Let's just be real. You can have your freaking cameras shut off, not paying your subscription, but you're
Yeah.
being recorded somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think a sheriff's department isn't going to be able to attain that kind of information. Do I think the FBI is going to get it? Yeah.
And these jammers, we were all saying that walkie-talkie in his pocket. If you remember,
Yeah.
we seen like an aerial. Well, jammers apparently have an aerial.
An aerial meaning
an what you pull up
antenna.
antenna. You call it an antenna, yeah.
Yeah.
So when we seen that what we think is the antenna sticking up from his pocket, that could have been the jammer. But for as many that was blocked out that night, apparently you'd need a bigger one, and it's normally used in a car.
But you know what? So not many people, even that lady said that she looked at her Xfinity and hers did not click out. So
Yeah, it was okay.
maybe
Could you use the little one in his pocket then? If it was only certain ones he knew could see the house. He's been walking the neighbourhood. He's been finding what angles these cameras are looking at. So he's known. I'm thinking, is he someone who works with cameras? Because
But if it was a Wi-Fi jammer, the inner cameras wouldn't be working or anything, would they?
if they're
I
off
don't know.
Wi-Fi.
Y'all, I never even knew about a jammer until this. I was
Neither
like, what
did
the
I.
fuck's a jammer?
I couldn't
I had to
believe
go
it.
look it up. I was like, oh
I
my
didn't-
God.
I thought it was something to do with music.
I know. I'm jamming
thought,
too,
oh God,
y'all.
he had a jammer. I thought it was a jammer.
know.
I
See, that's
didn't know
what
what was
happens
going on.
That's what happens when you get all people together that don't know a damn thing about
Yeah.
all this stuff, and they have to figure out YouTube as
Now,
we go. Listen, I've learned
JB
so much about
said
crime.
she would still have cellular, so the ones in the house wouldn't go out necessarily now if the Wi-Fi went off.
Well, and Maureen O'Connell said, so
Unless it
her
was another jammer, I've just been told.
Marino, come here, puppy. Remember Maureen O'Connell, her husband is retired law enforcement as well. And she showed him that picture of the little antenna sticking out of his pocket and said, a lot of us are thinking it's a cell phone. Some people thinking it's a walkie-talkie. Some people thinking it's a jammer. And he said, I'm telling you right now, that's a radio. And she was like, well, how do you
I
know?
thought that one of those
Yeah.
ham radios.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, but this, that, and he said, look, I was in law enforcement for over 20 years. If there's
He
anything
knows.
I know is radios.
See, I
He said,
believe
that's a
that.
radio.
I
Yeah.
think it was a ham radio, so they could listen out to see if if
police
police had been
came, yeah.
alerted from the alarms and that.
And they
Yeah.
could still talk to each other like,
Each
hey,
other.
I'm
Yeah,
coming to the
Yeah.
front door now. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
got this
Yeah.
covered. So, I mean, who knows? And what do you guys think about the nanny cam? So that's what Dawn and I were talking about earlier. It's being said now, you know, this is just stuff that we're coming up with, right? We don't know any of this to be factual because we only know
No.
what the police have put out to us, which isn't hardly nothing, but
Yeah.
we're just thinking about what it would look like, knowing that we know there's cameras, we know there's a nest, we know that if she was living alone, surely there's some kind of nanny camera in the house, right?
He did have interior cameras.
So my question is, hold on, okay. My question is, who was linked to the nanny cam?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and what did they see in the house happening? If they were able to view, I don't listen. When my kids were
What do you
born, we
mean?
didn't have nanny cameras, okay? And I was too poor to buy them if we did have them, okay? I just watched my kids and listened for their cry in their crib. That's how I knew they were awake. But nowadays, they got these cameras watching these babies like nobody's business. And hey, you do you. If that's the way you feel safe, keeping your baby safe, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know if that stuff is like recorded or if it just keeps looping through. You know what I mean? After so many hours, would they be able to take the nanny cams
Well,
out and
the one
review them?
my friend's got, but it doesn't record. I don't know whether she can make it record, but she doesn't have it recording. But if she goes anywhere, she can go on her phone and check in on them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I just know
So
that it said in the timeline that the interior security or whatever disconnected.
that y'all, that was done on
Well, they could
purpose.
have gone in and unplugged them, couldn't they? They
I
could have
just
ripped
don't.
them out.
I just don't believe that's a fluke, you guys. I just think that was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan. But what I'm curious about is
What do
with
you
the
mean part of
FBI,
the plan, Lee?
like they knew that all the surveillance that they had to just rip it out. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, it happened down
Yeah.
at the box. Somebody cut, and that's why everybody's
Do you
Wi-Fi
think they
or
want to put it
went off."
out there that it has indoor cameras? So the paper think, what? Cameras indoor? Mind you,
I
they
think
said
the
they would.
perp probably wouldn't care because he's probably thinking, we cut that, so what we know
Yeah.
that's there, you know it's there, who cares? We cut it. But this is why I think they didn't get anything off the nanny cam, because I sadly hope I'm wrong, but I believe that she was either dead upon leaving the house or she was killed soon after. Here's my point.
Yeah, it
If
had to be soon after because the blood on the doorstep was oxygenated, so that means she was alive when
Yeah.
that blood was dropped.
depending though how much blood it was, if the blood seeps
Apparently, that
into,
could have come from a hand as well. You know, because you
Mhm.
have tissue paper skin at that age. And if you get a knock on it, I know by my mum used to get a knock on her leg and it bleeds terrible. Blood's
Mhm.
everywhere. So
and
maybe the paper's dragged her by her arm and he's
and
cut her skin
uh-huh.
and that's what the bleeding is.
Or if there was sadly more damage done to
Mhm.
Nancy
Yeah.
and she was bleeding terribly, they wrapped her in the tarp or the sheet or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
it's still red and it's still dripping as they're taking her
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Would it
That's
still
what
be oxygenated and red at that point? I don't know. I would think it
if
would be because it's so fresh. I think it happens so quick.
if it's only just happened, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I,
so here's the deal with the nanny cam though, that I don't think they got anything off of it. I could be wrong. You guys let me know what you think about this. In the beginning they said they believed it to be an abduction. If Nancy was actually hurt in that house enough to make her bleed, or there was any kind of violence done in the house, which I believe there was, wouldn't they have caught that on the nanny cam? I guess depending on what room everything happened in.
but
So
if
then
that
they
were
would
if the nanny
automatic.
cam went out, if they went out the same time as all the other cameras now,
Mm. Mm.
But do they have to run off Wi-Fi?
I don't know how they work.
I
I
mean,
don't think they did. I think
mind
you
you,
just plug them
some
in,
of them,
don't you?
most of them do, but I'm just thinking, like, further up there, JB said something about cellular. Let me just see. She would still have cellular. What does that mean, JB?
Data,
Yeah, we
running
don't.
off your data, your mobile data, I guess.
So maybe if your Wi-Fi goes off, like your phone, if your
Mhm.
Wi-Fi goes off, you still got your data. You use your data, don't you? So it
Mhm.
must be the same as that then.
Yeah, but your cameras wouldn't run off that. They would run off your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but if I'm away, I can and I've got the cam on, Jess, I can see it, and I'm not on Wi-Fi.
If your
The
Wi-Fi
camera
got took
is.
out, let's say your Wi-Fi wasn't working for some reason, are your cameras still recording and sending info out?
Yeah, like into this huge cloud that's somewhere that we don't know. I think that's really what Mars or something
Your
is. It's just a
JB
cloud.
says if your Wi-Fi goes off, you have cellular. Some cameras run off cellular.
Oh.
Now, where would they have had them cameras? I mean, out about the middle a little bit, wouldn't you? Just in case.
But
Tell you
if it
what, if I
was
lived
like,
around there now, I'd be getting them cameras in.
but if it
But
was like,
But was it cameras or was it just like a motion detector? You know, those kind of things.
yeah, or just like one of those that you plug in and it goes to your phone. Like that's what my daughter had. She would just plug in and she'd be able to watch the baby upstairs.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, what I said to you, get for the dogs.
So, in other words, I'm not understanding how so it's not stored. It just like loops out every 8
Yeah,
hours
it's
or
just
something.
watching what you see. I don't know whether it's got something that you can do that. It's a subscription on it that you can do it. But the one my friend's got and the one I've got, I don't choose that. I just choose to watch it, and as I'm watching it,
real
it doesn't
time.
record. Yeah, in real time.
Now, do you
JB
think that
says a
she would
jammer would
want?
scramble Wi-Fi and cellular, but why scramble after they show their image?
Yeah, somebody said that that maybe he thought it had taken it out. You know, like that box thing round the corner or something that were tampered with. That maybe they thought that they'd cut the Wi-Fi and that they'd stopped it working, and it hadn't actually worked. You know, so that's why he had to go and take the camera. Somebody said
He's
that.
got a lot of nous with this type of stuff, don't you think?
Uh huh.
I
think
mean,
so.
I could just see myself trying to open one of those boxes, you guys, and seeing 50 million, because I have a box right out here by my house.
Thousands.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know. It's
all
like
those
spaghetti
wires, like
jumping
I'd
in
be
there.
like, I'd
Look
have
like
to bring.
spaghetti.
I'd have to cut them all.
That's what I'd be like. Y'all go give me the chainsaw. This bitch
I'd
is
be
going
going,
down.
hang on, let's remember when I was younger. Left goes to the blue goes to the left, the brown goes to
Oh,
the right, and then you did a big
I
explosion.
mean, how anybody makes any sense of all them wires, I have no idea.
But you know
I
what?
know.
Men really do, because like when we
Oh,
moved in here and they upgraded everybody's Wi-Fi and they
Yeah.
put the wires under the ground and stuff like that. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. And BK comes in, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's gas. Oh, that over there is internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's." I'm like, "How do you know that?" He's like, the colors of the flags." I was like, "Fuck you, I don't care." I mean,
I have
just
to
make
have it
sure it all works.
all written on the fuse box. You know, on the
Oh my
fuse box,
God.
it's written which one controls
I'm
what.
sure I heard they don't use fuses anymore or something like that.
Oh,
I
we
can't
use
get over.
fuses because
Oh,
Beefcake
I
has to
don't know. I
replace
might
our
have been
fuses.
dreaming. I mean, I've had mad dreams since
Oh,
this Nancy
she
Guthrie.
has me
Listen,
go.
guys, this is the God's honest truth.
It is
I
the truth.
swear down
It
on
is
my
terrible.
life on a plane. I couldn't wait to get on to tell Leonie and Liz, right? I said, "Oh my God, did you see last night?" I just couldn't get over it. Susanna Guthrie, I said, Savannah Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie, I said, She was ripping the sheriff. She was saying it was the mistakes he's made at the beginning. She was absolutely fuming. I said, but she was laughing as well. She was like, she looked great. I said, she'd had her makeup and her hair done. I said, I couldn't believe it, Leanie. I said, she was talking to a blonde woman. I can't think who it was. Listen, I was convinced, and it scared the shit out of me because it was so real. And I still can't get over it. I still believe that I've seen it.
And for 3 hours, I looked for the interview, and there
I was
wasn't
going,
one.
it was there. It was
No.
there, Leanie. I swear it was there.
She
And
had me
then I went
convinced that she
looking.
did it, and then it was taken down. She couldn't find it in her history. We were looking everywhere. I was
Yeah,
like, oh
I
my
was
God.
saying it's been taken down because she talked about the sheriff. It's been taken down. I started looking. Savannah Guthrie talks about sheriff blaming the and I couldn't find nothing. And I
It's 'cause you
thought, oh my
dreamed
God,
it.
I'm losing my mind.
Mhm.
This has got me losing my mind.
I was a
Honestly,
little concerned.
I've even added X, by the way, Liz. I've added
You're
X.
Maggie, it's because you're a year older.
A year
Should have
older.
said.
I'm telling you, I have added X, right? So listen to this. I've been on and I couldn't work out how you see people's comments. And I must have been sharing for everyone. I don't know what to do. So, oh God, it's just eating my brain away. So I found out how to write a message so everyone can see it. So I've wrote, that sheriff, this is my words, that sheriff has compromised the crime scene from the word go.
Mm.
He's done it to get back at the FBI. God knows if it's shared or if anyone's here. I don't know what I've done. I just pressed go like that, click.
Click.
I don't know where it's gone.
And where's this
So
on X?
on X, I was looking for you. Aren't you on X? I was putting
I'm on
Lizzo
X,
180.
yeah, I'm on X.
I was putting Lizzo 180 to look for you because I've got JLR and everyone. I've added everyone on the crime scene. Everyone. If you're into crime, then I'm your man or your woman. So there you
Except
go.
for she just doesn't know if she is dreaming it or not. You just have to go down the road with her. Do
Am
some
I a waif?
investigating.
Am I a
and
waif
then,
right now?
yeah,
I mean,
you just go down the road, do some investigating, and then you have to let her know, honey, you
I have
dreamed
got
that
back
one.
so much of waking up, going for the wee, and then picking my phone up and checking, and then being on there for 3 hours, and then by the time it's time to get up, I can't cope.
Can't cope. She can't
I don't
cope,
know
y'all.
about you, but I genuinely was upset when JLR went home. I was like, oh, don't go, please don't
Oh,
go.
listen, did you see? Oh,
I
Liz,
feel
what
so
was
sorry
I?
for him. I really wanted it to be resolved before he
For-
went.
yeah.
I
Yes.
put a message on to him, guys. I'll have to share it. I can't get. I said I know I'm very selfish, but you
Please
know,
do.
I felt it was a loss. I felt I'd lost someone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I were,
I
you
really
know,
did.
really upset for him because he, you know, if anyone deserves it, he does. You know, he's been there 12
Yeah.
hours a
Well, he's
day.
Oh, I think he was starting to lose his mind himself. To be honest,
Yeah.
you know, he
Bless
was
him.
just staring at them bricks on Nancy's house. That's all he was doing. So John's
Yeah.
55 on the 21st.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday, John.
He's what,
Tomorrow,
55? I'm 55 soon as well.
I can't drive 55. Does
Oh,
that matter?
what you say?
I can't drive 55.
Drive.
Never mind. It's a song. You guys missed it.
Oh.
Whew, over your heads.
Oh, it must be an
Tomorrow is
American thing, Liz.
Maggie's birthday, y'all. Tomorrow is Maggie's birthday. I'm gonna schedule a live. Nope, I'm gonna schedule a live for tomorrow, the same
going out.
time, and we're gonna have a birthday bash.
I'm
What do you
going
mean
out.
you're going out?
You're not going out.
I'm going out I'm going to my friends for me tea.
You have friends?
I
This'll
have
be in
more
the
friends than
morning.
you will ever know, dear.
Maggie, you only have us. That's the way this works here.
But I'll probably get home about 8 o'clock anyway.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Go out with your dumb
Don't
friends.
bank
then.
on it. I might be a bit late. You know what I mean? I only go out once a year, so don't push your luck.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I have seen you all made up going out to dinner and things like that. No,
When
it's
was
not always
that? When was
pleasant.
that?
I don't
When
remember.
was that?
Maggie, I've
Last
slept since
year?
then.
Last
Slept since then,
week?
Maggie. Suck it.
Fuck's sake. John, me and you were having a birthday bash tomorrow. Bring your
right, so-
bottle. Everyone, you're all invited. Bring your own bottle though.
Bring your own bottles. Yeah, I will schedule a live. We will toast to Maggie tomorrow on this channel. All right, let's get back to this. Max, you want to bring up the FBI walking in the footsteps of the cops.
Oh. No.
FBI asking Nancy's neighbors.
Okay. So I made that mistake then because I said to you, that's on the same video, isn't it, Lee? And I thought you said yes.
No.
Okay.
I can bring it up.
Give
I've
me-
got it right here.
Give me a second. Give me a
Okay, I'll give
second.
you a second. I know you're a little older.
I shall find it.
Hey, Captain.
Yes.
Good to see you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Will you hit the like for Maggie for her birthday?
Yeah,
Thank
please
you
hit
so
the
much.
like. It'll make me birthday brilliant.
Make her birthday. So I just want to say that I do believe, and we talked about this in the beginning, I do believe that the sheriff's office is hiding, or just maybe not hiding, but I think that they have not shared full details with the FBI. And the FBI is like, you know what? Fine, no problem.
Yeah,
we know how to do this too, and people will talk to us more. So I think the FBI is now conducting their own independent investigation. And I think I've got great hope that this is where we're going to get it solved. But my other hope is whenever we get a perp behind jail, that the sheriff goes to jail too for impeding on an active investigation. He should be sharing every bit of information he's got with law enforcement that's working with him. That's just me. So that's
Lee,
what we're going to watch next. Yes, love.
Is it FBI asking Nancy Guthrie's neighbours about construction crews or nearby home building site? Okay.
Yes.
Bear with me, guys, please. Okay.
Really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. I appreciate all your support. Today is day 45 in the search for Nancy Guthrie, which is kind of crazy. It's now officially been about a month and a half since Nancy went missing on February 1st. A couple of new developments today that I've learned about. I have confirmed through sources that the FBI has been back in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood over the last 24 hours or so, going back to neighbors' houses and asking more questions. Some of the things that I know that they're talking about is there's one neighbor that moved out before Nancy disappeared, and they have been asking more questions about that situation. Not to say that that has anything to do with what happened, but that is something that the FBI agents are asking about. And then also, and this I found to be particularly interesting, they are asking about, there's several houses that are under construction in the neighborhood, and they are asking specifically for names of contractors and workers who were working in the neighborhood on those houses, on those construction projects. And I'm talking about like specifics, like they want the names of all the contractors and workers who are working on those houses. And I saw the construction while I was there, just driving around. There are several houses under construction in the area. So that to me is an interesting new nugget that I just found out about today. So I'm going to discuss that and a couple of other new things that I learned about what's going on behind the scenes with the investigation with my friend and former FBI Special Agent Steve Moore. All right, Steve, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. There's a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. I was thinking about you this morning because a few little sort of, I call them nuggets, have come out with the Nancy Guthrie case. The first thing is I'm back home in Florida, but I obviously like made a lot of friends in the neighborhood and stuff. And one of the neighbors texted me this morning. She texted me early. She said, I wanted to tell you that the FBI came over today, had some more questions about some things that I saw. They also called my friend who's building a house down the street from Nancy. They wanted to know all of the workers and contractors at that house. Leads me to the conclusion that they are no further along than day 2. That's just what she thought. But what I was interested in is they wanted to know all of the workers and contractors from a house that's being built down the street. What does that say to you?
Well, obviously, it means they're retracing steps. And, I've used this analogy with you before. Say you can't find your car keys and you walk through the house or the apartment, you look for where you usually leave them, they're not there. Then you have to go back and you have to retrace and you have to say, hey, what pants were I wearing? Or where's my purse or whatever like that. And you go to the second level. When you get down to the third or fourth level, these are things you don't usually check, but you may start pulling cushions off beds or off couches, things like that. And you'll go in deeper and deeper and deeper. And so people say, why didn't the FBI do this already? Because the normal search yields your keys in about 20 seconds. The secondary search yields them in about 2 to 5 minutes. And if you start with undoing the couches or the couch cushions in your living room, you'll never get to the bedroom where the keys are. So they are now obviously to the point where they are pulling up cushions in the couch. And I think that would explain they are not actually at day 2, though I understand completely why it seems that way. They are where they would have been if all normal searches didn't work.
And just specifically with workers and contractors, like in my neighborhood right now, there's a lot of construction and there's just an enormous amount of people that come in and out that are working on houses. And you can kind of, they are not people that I recognize from the neighborhood. They're usually in work trucks, they're in pickup trucks. Is there anything specific that stands out to you that they're looking at a house that's being built and trying to talk to all the workers involved? Does that stand out for a specific reason, or do you just think they're trying to cover everything?
No, it does stand out for one reason. I don't know if you're going to find this fascinating or not, but the theory of the crime is a big deal. The theory of the crime informs every other bit of investigation you do. And from the beginning, the theory of the crime has been that this was targeted, that this wasn't a random thing where somebody goes to a house, he doesn't know who he's going to find inside. He's thinking, I'll just get the usual cash in the underwear drawer and, some jewelry, watches, something like that. But no, that's not what happened here, according to everything I've seen. And according by this investigation, that the FBI believes. They believe that this is targeted. So then you have to find out who would target it, obviously going back to the beginning. But there are 2 or 3 areas. Did they target Nancy? Did they target Savannah? Did they target Annie? They targeted this residence for a specific purpose. I believe 100% they knew that Nancy Guthrie was on the other side of that door when they were trying to cover up the Ring camera. So this goes to the point that while the FBI may have changed their theory of why she was targeted, they have not for 1 minute changed their theory that she was targeted. And so to target somebody, you have to, in some way, shape, or form, come in contact with them.
And you think that leads back to why they're interested in a contractor from down the street?
Yeah, I would think so. And not necessarily that there's an indication that any of those contractors have done anything wrong or those workmen have done anything wrong, but they are people who would have very possibly come in contact with Nancy. And I think one of the main things that I would like to find out if they would let me in on the case is how ambulatory was she? How traveling was she? She had a car, but she didn't go to church at her local church. She zoomed it with her, or she followed their online services for a church in New York that Savannah went to. So that leads me to believe that she didn't get out of the house as much. So then that complicates things because she doesn't come into contact with that many people. Did she walk every day? What if she walked past the construction site? There's lots of things like that.
Yeah, she used to walk. The neighbors told me, I think like years ago, there was actually a group of them that would all walk together, and she was part of that group. But I think it's been a while. I mean, I think her health has really been, even some of the neighbors told me like they were kind of worried about her sometimes, like they didn't see her coming out of the house as much, that kind of thing.
Right. And so then that would lead one to believe that maybe it was somebody who came into the house, or came to her house, or, this kind of thing happens. I mean, you've probably seen this kind of thing where you get a door knock and somebody says, "Hey, I'm cutting trees down the block, and I thought, while I'm here, I can give you a deal and cut some of your trees." Or, "Do you need a gardener?" or anything like that. She doesn't have to get out necessarily for somebody to door knock her. And so what I would be interested in combination with this is any solicitors that came by any of the houses in the neighborhoods in the weeks beforehand.
Yeah, and I know most contractors and people working on houses are just doing their jobs and it's not like they're bad people normally, obviously.
Yes,
actually, someone emailed me the other day because I was talking about contractors and said, we're contractors, me and my husband, and you gave us a bad rap. Most of them are good, but it does make sense. Those are, like, I was just thinking back to my neighborhood. Those are really the outsiders that come in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they are. And frequently to the person who contacted you about contractors, I'll agree 100%. I am not casting aspersions on contractors, but there are people who come into neighborhoods specifically to case places who masquerade as contractors. Or, and there is no profession that is without its problem child. I mean, the worst spy in the history of the world, I think, came from the FBI internally. So I love the FBI, so I'm certainly not jamming on contractors, but it is possible that somebody at that job site found a reason to go into that house.
Something else yesterday, Steve, in my episode, before I left, I interviewed one of Nancy's neighbors who I hadn't talked to before. And she brought up something really interesting, which other people have noticed. On Nancy's front door, and a lot of the houses there have it, it's not a screen door, but it's like a security gate. You know how people have those? And there's the regular door, and then it's like bars, and it has a lock. And I'm told that you have to have a key to lock it from the outside and from the inside.
Right.
And this neighbor had one too, and her theory was the guy who went to the front door, she believes there was someone else already inside the house, and that guy was coming to the front door to help that other person get Nancy out, because she just says most people there lock their security door, and there would be no way to get in. That would be very hard to break through the security gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I've gotten through a bunch of them when I was on SWAT. You have to have special tools, crowbars, things like that, and they're very noisy. Or we had some hydraulic things that moved them out of the way, so they are substantial. But and that's possible. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but my theory on this would be that if a person can get into the house without being seen by a ring camera, then they can get out of the house by being seen by a ring camera. And it would tend to be kind of a goofy move when the guy says, "I'm in," and the camera's in front and I'm in without getting seen. Why would you then send somebody to the front door?
Right. And she also may not have locked the security gate. I mean, especially since it takes a key on the inside, maybe she just had it closed. Although when she went home from having dinner at her daughter's, when she was last seen, the garage, it sounds like she would go in and out through the garage because they
Can
were
we
able to
apple this a minute?
garage open, which makes me think maybe she did have this.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. Will you hit the thumbs up for us? I have something to say about that. So when I lived in California, everybody had those big bars and those security gates over their doors. And sadly, I never thought how dangerous this was until the Nancy Guthrie case. But all of us, including myself, we had one. We would leave the key in the door on the inside. That way, if somebody came to the door, we just click on, it's just another lock. So if the guy came, if there was somebody, in fact, already in the inside of the house, which I believe there was, and we know, I don't think this FBI agent really is understanding what all's going on, because he's making theories about things that we already know that happened. We know she was taken out the front because there's blood there. There was not blood there when you see the guy on the footage. So, I mean, it's not like they would have to ask Nancy, hey, Nancy, where's the key to let the guy in the front door? It's very possible that key is always there, and she just unlocks it, walks out, takes the key out, turns around, locks it back, and then when she comes back home, unlocks it, goes back in, and leaves the key in locked. That's what I think. A lot of people do that. We did it. We left our key in the lock on the inside. Why wouldn't you? Now I wouldn't. Now I'd hang it up on the wall, I guess, somewhere. But why wouldn't you just leave it in there? Nobody can get through those bars.
Mm.
All right, Mags, go ahead and keep going.
Security gate locked if she didn't even really use the front door very much.
Well, if the I think that if I remember correctly, her garage is on the side of her house, and so I think it would be longer to go in through the go in around the house and through the front door in the heat, usually in Arizona,
right?
Than it would be to go through the garage and come in that way. You'd be in the house much faster. So that may be it. The other thing is that people get complacent, and I'm not saying this as a criticism, but because I have to fight this myself. Who's gonna bother me? Who's gonna come into this neighborhood and cause me problems? So I believe that those kind of gates that I'm familiar with, they all had a normal doorknob on the inside and the outside, so you can get in and out if it wasn't locked with no problem. She may have not kept it locked all the time.
All right, guys, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of today's episode, Surfshark. Have you ever tried to watch a video? If it was locked, though, then why do you think? Do you think that neighbor's theory could be right? Because why else would the guy become? You'd be able to see the security door. Like, why would he be coming to the front?
I'd have to speculate. But first of all, if it's unlocked by a key from the inside and the outside, and you don't have a key to the outside, you don't have a key to the inside. So how's his friend going to unlock it? That's one thing I would think of. That's a
good point. Yeah.
And so the other thing is, I remember again from SWAT, because and it's ironic how many of these things actually transfer across, because we had to get into homes at 3 a.m. at night without arousing suspicion, at least get until the point where we breached a door. And one of the things we would do is, if the bedroom was near the front door, we'd go in the back. If the bedroom was in the back, which is usual, then we'd go in the front door. So it could be that they were trying to get into a door that was farthest from where she would be sleeping. And that would indicate a lot of casing and knowledge of the inside of the home. And the only other people who can read a home very well are contractors, because they can look at the pipes coming out your roof and tell where the bathrooms are. And the bathrooms are usually right near bathrooms are usually right near bedrooms, so you can get an idea of where the bedrooms are.
Also, we knew that there was this January 11th date that they were asking neighbors for video from January 11th, which would have been like a couple weekends before Nancy went missing. Now neighbors are telling me that when the FBI is showing back up, they're also asking for video from January 24th, which would have been the Saturday before Nancy went missing, 8 days before on a Saturday. And one neighbor was telling me that they actually went through her cameras with her, like an agent did, to help, and was helping her, and kind of, but like they were that, focused on that date, like they wanted to look through it with her, and hers just showed wildlife, and nothing, but they were insistent on that date, January 24th. Now, what do you think it means, and also does it mean anything that both of these dates that they've been interested in are on weekends?
It does, and what that might tell me is that the person who was casing the place had a job during the week and could only get away from work to case the place, and be able to get enough sleep to get back to work in the morning on weekends. So it could be you're looking for somebody who has a Monday through Friday job. That's just a theory, but enough theories come together, and you have a working fact, and so that would be one thing. But obviously, the FBI has some kind of lead tip. I wouldn't think it would be a tip. You wouldn't change your interviews unless the tip was really solid, but they have some kind of lead, some kind of evidence, maybe some film that leads them to believe that the home was cased on those days, or other homes were cased on those days. And that's the other thing you have to think about. Nancy may not have been, depending on what this crime turns out to be, she may not have been the primary victim. She could have been plan B. So it could be that people were going to different houses. And I would assume that the FBI is looking at residents who are similar to Nancy, single elderly woman living at home.
Yeah. And there's a lot of older people around there. Is it a bad sign, though, that they keep visiting the same neighbors? The FBI, I mean, should that lead us to believe that they're not making much progress?
I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't sound like wildly, doesn't sound like progress so strong it's hard to keep track of. Hopefully they're making some progress, and that's just going to be your litmus test for if we're doing anything right. You have to make some progress somewhere. But, I liken it to doing a jigsaw puzzle. And you say, oh, I've got a piece here, that shows the corner of a building. So now I'm looking for other pieces with a corner of the building. And so you give up for a while and you put that piece down and you go, you know what, I'm going to look for corners of the building again. And so you try to start looking at other pieces of evidence. The other thing you do is you change your investigative team, sometimes investigative styles, and other people have different investigative philosophies. I will investigate different than even my closest FBI friend. They have a different way of doing it. And so some people may come in and just do it differently.
Yeah, I guess just a fresh set of eyes kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I had reported a couple weeks ago that they were using polygraphs to clear people in the case. And the sheriff was quick to come out and say, oh, that's not true. People just saw polygraphs at our building because there was they were doing like new hires that day. But that actually wasn't that wasn't my source, that it was even coming from the sheriff's office. It was actually the FBI doing the polygraphs. And it's interesting. Yeah. I noticed Megyn Kelly reported yesterday that that Nancy's family members were specifically cleared because they all passed polygraphs. I didn't have that part of the reporting. I just knew that they were clearing people in general with polygraphs, but she's reporting that it's actually the family members. Did you ever do polygraphs? Like was that something that was part of your investigations in the FBI?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the polygraph itself is usually only the actual test itself is, I would say, less than half of its value. It is the realization of the person who you want to polygraph that we will likely be able to tell if they're lying or not. And so that causes them at that point, especially if you come up to a family member and you used to broach it like this, you'd say, listen, my job is to catch the person who has your mother or may have harmed your mother. And the problem is, statistically, it's usually a family member. So help me eliminate you so I can get to the real work. Help me get through this as fast as possible, because it's just slowing down finding the real person who did it. Then you get 3 polygraphs in there, and you talk to them before and after the polygraph. And those interviews before and after are as important or more important than the polygraph itself.
What do you mean by that? Like the interview, why were the interviews after more important?
A person who believes that they might not pass a polygraph is going to behave differently than somebody who has nothing to do with a crime. Person who has nothing to do with a crime might be slightly, nervous about taking a polygraph, but you set them at ease and you do all this, A person who is afraid of being caught is going to show all sorts of psychological and even physical tells. You might see them sweating. You might see them, their knees bouncing or something like this. And then in the pre-interview, you're going to go over all the questions you're going to ask. And I don't want to give away techniques or something, but you can go in and say, is there anything about this that makes you nervous? Because I see you there's some stress here. How can I make you feel better? What question bothers you? So maybe you and I can change the question so that you're not worried about it. And you can delve pretty quickly into why they're nervous. And frequently that will tell you things that are important. And you can use the opportunity to say, now listen, if I was testing the person here who was afraid they might get caught on this, I would want them to know that they have options, that they could make deals, they can do this. This isn't, polygraph or die. This is, let's get through this. And those are as valuable sometimes. In fact, most of the time in a criminal case, I think those are more valuable than the actual results, because the actual results are not admissible in court. The interview before and after are.
If has anyone ever failed a polygraph and then do they ever not tell them because they don't want them to know? Like then you just know, oh, maybe this person is a suspect, but you don't actually tell them that they failed?
Yeah, absolutely true. I mean, absolutely true. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
The polygraph is your tool, not theirs. And if the polygraph will work for you in a way that is helpful, that's what it's there for. It is not a defense tool. It is not a defense attorney tool, a prosecutor. It's an investigative tool. And so you will use the results of the polygraph or protect the results of the polygraph as best you can, because if they come up deceptive, it never says you're lying, but if they come up deceptive, then you may or may not want them to know that.
Do they ask normally, well, how did I do, or what happened? I mean, I would be curious.
They always ask. It's kind of like doing an MRI and you say, well, did you find anything? Oh, right. We got to read it. I'm not the guy who reads it, this kind of stuff. And so that's, the correct answer and a true answer. You have to read it. You have to analyze it. It doesn't just have these things where if you cross a line and it turns red and you're lying. That's cartoons. But if you, you do have to read it. I think though, during the polygraph, you got an idea.
Okay. So yeah, the fact that there's now this reporting that the family passed polygraphs, that's for you a pretty good sign. I mean, that is that reason. I mean, the sheriff came out and said the family's cleared officially,
Yeah.
period. That would
And
probably weigh. I'm sure that weighed into that decision.
if the sheriff says it, I'm not confident just because he said it. I would have to have some kind of validation because the sheriff have said things that I don't believe to be accurate. So that doesn't help me. The sheriff also would know that you never say somebody passed or failed a polygraph. It is not a pass fail. It is a continuum between deception and non-deception, essentially, and it can go all over the place during the time. And so what you say is it's either testing, and the word may not even be deceptive, but it's in the category. They're either deceptive or inconclusive,
Well,
something like that.
isn't that
And if
open your
somebody
eyes?
says if somebody tests as
Interesting.
inconclusive, you can't say that they failed it. You can't say that we think now that they're a suspect. But one thing I wouldn't believe for sure is that they are cleared.
How does
And
it
I
work?
don't know what their tests were.
Yeah, let's
How
go ahead
does
and
it
stop
work?
it
I mean,
right
they
there and
obviously
talk
come
about that.
in.
Yeah.
When you're the agent,
Right.
is it an FBI agent asking the questions?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. Very,
Yeah.
very,
Not
very.
because he says it now, I wouldn't. Oh.
Mm,
So we
That's,
don't know for sure now.
No.
I have always questioned how and what did he use to come out and say that they are not suspects of
He's being quick to make that out from the word go, don't you think,
yeah,
Lainey?
he
He's
cleared
all
them. He
being-
cleared them really
yeah.
fast, but I wanted to know how he
Starting to
cleared
think, is
them.
he being paid off?
I mean, how could you? So you could clear somebody through DNA, and we know the DNA wasn't back yet, and we've still got mixed DNA that nobody's been able to figure out yet. So it wasn't the DNA that cleared them. He's saying that even if now the sheriff hasn't come out and told us that they took polygraphs, but if they took a polygraph, that's not even admissible in court.
No.
So and everybody's saying I'm watching the FBI in chat and some other people in chat saying, it's not, and just like this guy saying, it's not necessarily you passed or failed. It's a tool to, okay, we see some
Gives us an
indiscrepancies
idea.
and we're going to keep going with you because you're shady about something. We don't know what, but something shady's going on with you. So you can't clear them through that. If they're all home in the same house and they're part of the same family, how the hell are you going to clear them using an alibi that they're all standing up for each other? That's not exactly an alibi, is it? When you're all under suspicion, but you're all saying, "Oh, we were all together. Yeah, we were right here in the house. Yeah, no problem." So I just think that the sheriff came out and said that, like he says, most of the stuff that he has said, he's full of shit. He doesn't know what's going on, and he doesn't want his friends, because we know that he was at least friendly with this family. He doesn't want his friends being talked about and blasted through the internet and on the boob tube. What says you, Lizzo?
Yeah, I agree. I don't trust him at all. I don't, as soon as I heard it come out when they said, oh, family all passed the polygraphs, I thought, oh, here we go. Everybody's going to be like, well, can't be family. They've been
Is he getting a
cleared.
backhander for all this? Because he's so intent on keeping it all hush-hush, everything, isn't he, with them? Is he being given a little backhander to, not say so much in public? Maybe because Savannah wants to be very private and doesn't want all this information out there. So she could be giving a little few dollars to the sheriff.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Michelle, you're so sweet. Michelle says, hi to everybody. I've been listening in my earbuds. Wanted to let you know I regularly watch you. I don't always comment because I'm vision impaired. Happy early birthday to Maggie.
Oh,
Oh,
Michelle,
Aw.
thanks
that's so
very much,
kind.
love. That's really nice of you. Thank you,
Mhm.
Michelle.
Thank you so much for that, Michelle. And I've seen you comment a couple times. I appreciate you being here and doing whatever you can do. Just thank you for listening. That's so nice of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for remembering our Maggie's birthday is tomorrow. Lucky says they can use geolocation from their cell phones to confirm whether they were together. Right. But here's
Mhm.
my point. Tomato Tomasco hot sauce dude and his wife, Annie, or girlfriend Annie, I can't confirm or deny that they ever married. I've heard they have, heard they haven't. Anyways, they were both under suspicion. So yeah, they can confirm that they were together or that their phones were together. Do you
Well, he was
really
on the
think
phone for 9 seconds anyway. So what was going on there for 9? You be
I
right.
mean, people don't take their cell phones to if you're not a dummy, you're not going to
To a
take your
crime,
cell
yeah.
phone to a
No.
crime. You would take, a scanner or whatever was in his pocket. Their phones could have been staying at home. That means nothing. That's not an alibi at all. Just because you
Or a
leave your
burner
phone
phone. You
sitting
could have got
together,
a burner phone.
right?
Mm.
Michelle says, "I hope you're feeling better, Maggie. You sound
I'm
good."
feeling much better, Michelle. The tiredness just overtook me and I couldn't cope.
Thank you, Lucky, for saying that. Though, look, the deal is that we have to consider all possibilities. And when he first said that, I was like, "Damn, she was right." And then I was like, "Wait a second, I wouldn't take my phone." So, I mean, I'm glad you said it because it just we can rule that out now, right?
Yeah.
I just if somebody else can give me a reason as to how the sheriff's department can come out and rule out anybody in the family, all the children and their spouses,
Mhm.
let me know because I'll consider it. Michelle says she will be celebrating with you tomorrow. John H
Aw.
says, have a fantastic birthday, Maggie. May all your birthday wishes come
Oh,
true.
come in. We're
That's you
having a party.
tomorrow, John. John, we'll see you tomorrow at Maggie's party. Yeah, we'll
And
be
you
having
can
a
leave your slippers on, John. Don't worry. As long as you're comfortable, keep your slippers on. I'll be in mine.
Linda said they can still track your car's GPS depending on the car. I drive a Silverado. It doesn't have GPS. And then I've got a newer car that does. So it would depend on that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then if you were going to go commit a crime, and here's another thing I think. If I was going to go commit a crime, now that I've had time to think about the crime, I don't think I would take my own vehicle. I think I would be more prone to rent a vehicle or buy a beater off of Marketplace or something like that and then trash it. I mean, why would she's obviously when they took Nancy out of the house, she was bleeding. There has to be blood in the vehicle somewhere from something, their fingers, a tarp. There's so why would you take that chance of taking your own vehicle? So just something to think about. The sheriff cannot clear anyone, only a prosecutor in Annie's car. She just got it back. Right. All right, guys, let's just keep going with this. Thank you all so much for being here. Hello, Wild Angel. And everybody
Hello,
wants to know when Lizzo's birthday is. I think it's in, I don't want to say Lizzo's going to be like, fuck you, Leanie, like you're supposed to be my friend.
Oh, you fucking did me, didn't you?
I did do you. I was like, I don't know when it is. I had to ask Mel right there in front of Maggie. It was like, Mel, when's her birthday? I don't even remember.
When was that? I didn't even notice.
We were all together in Discord or something. I
didn't even notice you asking. I would have stopped you there and then. As I said,
the only person I remember is JB, the FBI, and that's because her and my mom's birthday are the same day. Lizzo's is March 23rd, y'all. So hers is coming up too.
Oh
I just had to look.
See, we should have just had one big party.
D. Anthony says, I love how it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. I love that too, D, because it's so good to see you again. You were in here last night. I've got so many theories. I'd be fucking everybody's mind up because I'm
I
fucking my
know,
own
what
mind
mine's
up.
already up the wall. I don't know
Oh,
where
y'all
I
don't
am.
want me in court.
Oh God, honestly, I've never been so invested in a case in my life. To dream so real.
Yo, don't feel bad. I got 10 grandchildren, and I'm calling my daughters to ask them like whose birthday's when, what's happening, so I can put it on the calendar.
I'll be 21 again, lol. That's all we
Why
say.
is Brian
21
Inton?
again.
Why is Brian Inton's channel up? Well, because we're reviewing him interviewing this FBI agent, which we really don't have to because we have our very own FBI agent in chat. Yes, we have our own sources here. Her name is JB. I call her J Badass. She's a 20-year retired FBI agent, and I can prove it. I won't, but I can. All right, let's get back to it, Mags.
Okay. Here goes.
It is, but it's a trained polygrapher, and I was not a trained polygrapher. I was trained to work with the polygraphers, and they set it up. They read it. They have much more knowledge than the average investigation, and they are very good interrogators. That is
So
part
you
of their
wouldn't ask the
training.
questions as the agent. Would you just sit there, or
I wouldn't be in the room.
so
I
you
leave the.
Okay.
I would talk to the agent who was giving the polygraph, and he and I or she and I would meet and probably discuss these things for an hour, go through the questions and say, this is what I want. What are you aiming at here? What are you suspecting? And we would give that person, him or her, an idea of what we were looking for as a result of this investigation, what our main questions were, what are secondary, and let him go from there. It's kind of like, I was an FBI pilot for a while. Not all agents are pilots, and you don't want agents who are not pilots in the cockpit because they know more about that part of it. And the same way with polygraphers. I wasn't a trained polygrapher, so I shouldn't get involved with that. But with the process, or I'm sorry, with the actual administration of it. But the agents are involved heavily with the process.
And do they just call you after and say, okay, we just wrapped up, and they, were honest or weren't honest?
They will come out sometimes mid post interview to get a cup of coffee or something and say, let's talk, because I think, this person's, not all where you would like them to be.
Interesting.
And so it's, it's it is so subjective. It is not an objective test. And again, it is only an investigative tool, but it can be an investigative tool that is useful in eliciting truth from somebody even after the test.
With any of the cases you worked, did anyone take the test and seem truthful, but later end up being a suspect, being someone responsible?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I had somebody who, because I believe they were a psychopath, they didn't have the same response, physical responses to stress, lying, or even harm to other people. It just didn't stress them out that much. It didn't, it didn't, like a guitar string, it didn't vibrate with them, and so I've had that. And then that person later confessed in the post interview. And so, these things happen.
What kind of case was it?
It was a domestic terrorism case where somebody had provided material support to kill someone.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, you know, do you know Tracy Walder? She's on News Nation sometimes. She's a former FBI agent, but also was in the CIA.
Okay, I know several of those hybrid agents, but I
Yeah,
don't
you
remember.
might know her if you saw her, but I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about polygraphs, and she mentioned to me that she actually failed her polygraph to get into the CIA, and and how, you know, she went and cried, and she just didn't want to go back, and my career is ruined. And they said, no, just come back tomorrow. It'll be okay. She went back the next day and did it, and you know, it came back fine or whatever. And I don't know what part like they were asking about or whatever, but she was just saying,
Well,
she was kind of laughing about it, you know, like,
I- it's hard to laugh on
yeah,
those,
yeah.
but
Maybe she can
I
laugh about it
know,
now. She wasn't laughing then, you know.
yeah, it certainly was an excellent polygrapher, because if she what it came up with is that she had tested as deceptive or less than truthful, and somehow the polygrapher felt that it was a false positive for deception. And it takes a very skilled person. I've seen people who I believe were absolutely honest and qualified for the FBI who failed an FBI polygraph, and it still bothers me to this day, because those people would have been great agents, and I think it might have been the polygrapher's fault. Might have been the polygrapher's fault. But yeah, I've had problems on polygraphs because I was overseas working Al Qaeda in Pakistan and all around the world there. I had information that could have been very damaging. So every year or two, I had to get polygraphed. And one of the questions was, have you divulged classified information to anybody who shouldn't have had it? And my problem was, there are certain things, certain paragraphs where the middle name of somebody might be classified, or a location, or if you combined this bit of information with this bit of information and a date, would that make it classified? And so I said, and I explained that to the polygrapher. And so we changed the question to, have you intentionally, with malice, intent, and intent, divulged classified information? No, not at all.
And then
Said,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. And my mind keeps going to, like, whenever I go out of the country and I'm coming back through customs, and and you know, when you get asked for your passport and everything, and I mean, I have nothing to hide. I'm just coming home. I always get a little nervous. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I always just feel a little bit like, oh God, I'm about to get in trouble for something. Like,
Right.
you know
You
what
don't
I
even
mean?
have to explain it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what. Now imagine you come in off that plane and they hook you up to a polygraph.
Right.
And now you've just jacked the stress up through the roof. So polygraphers are aware of that sometimes the most innocent people have the strongest physical respiration, blood pressure. They have the strongest reactions to the questions. That doesn't mean strong deception or deception of any kind. It just might mean, and a good polygrapher will understand this, that they are very stressed out by taking the test. And sometimes innocence makes you more stressed, because you say, what could I have done?
Right.
The guilty person knows exactly what they did.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes me feel better about my always being nervous. And
You should feel good about it.
Yeah. Okay, good. And just my last question, Steve, the sheriff, Sheriff Nanos from Pima County, there's some rumbling, you know, that the board of supervisors, and, you know, sheriffs is a powerful position. Obviously, you're elected in Arizona. No one can take you out as sheriff, but the supervisors of the county who are elected also control the budget. And there's some word, you know, some of them are just not happy with the sheriff right now, not happy with the investigation, not happy with the public perception of what's going on. And I'm just wondering, should we give the sheriff a break right now? I mean, we're, you know, 40 some days in, and just see how things move forward? Or do you think it's fair to be critical of the sheriff based on what you know of how things have gone so far?
Well, I think it's fair for every law enforcement executive, as well as the agents and the deputies and the detectives, to be held accountable for their job performance. And there are people, you know how they say in basketball, there are players who are just not made for the playoffs. They play all year just fine, but when the playoffs come, they just fold. And because they can't take the stress, or it's a level of competition above where they're capable. And while I'm not saying this is the case with Sheriff Nanos at all, it is possible that he was an acceptable, serviceable sheriff, but didn't have the necessary skills to handle an investigation like this. And he might have the investigative skills, but he didn't have the liaison skills. I don't think he has effective liaison skills. He doesn't have public relations skills. And he had allegedly, but I think there's a lot of anecdotal information, a chip on his shoulder about the FBI. And by the way, I get that. The FBI put a lot of chips on people's shoulders. But you can't let that interfere when somebody's life is on the line. And, it reminds me, when you go into the executive program with the FBI, some of the first training you get is in front of people interviewing you on camera. It is not just that you are managing an investigation, because now you're managing the press, you're managing interactions, with other agencies that you may not want to work with. I can tell you, I've done that a few times. And so it's a holistic thing. And I think there is, regardless of where we are, we were talking the other day, a bunch of agents, and we just can't figure out why it hasn't been solved. And it's not because we think we're smarter than the agents. We just don't know what is the handicap, because there is one. If there wasn't some kind of roadblock here, they would have solved it. And I trust these agents, and I trust the teams they're on. So we're curious about what happened in the investigation. And if you look at it, some of the things that happened are interagency rivalry, at least by one agency, and a lot of public relations gaffes. And so I think when something has not worked to plan, you have to look at what mistakes were made. And there's one person where a lot of those mistakes originated.
So you think there was a roadblock in the investigation? You don't think the reason it's not solved is just because whoever did this was so good at covering, or was so lucky?
Because the sheriff was crap.
I think both. I'm just saying that, it could be a combination of interagency rivalry, which stifled the free flow of information. Plus, I would say the perpetrators getting lucky because they didn't seem to be all that competent. When you show me somebody who's wearing his gun in the wrong holster in his crotch outside the pants, and he's trying to cover up a Ring camera with leaves.
Yeah.
You've shown me somebody who is not Lex Luthor, so I think if they didn't get, if there's a thing that's keeping them away from finding the person, it's a combination of interagency lack of cooperation and the luck of the bad guy. And it might be luck because the kidnapping may not have been the prime reason to do this for this crime, and that may be throwing off all the investigative results so far.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, Steve.
Thank you.
As always, I really appreciate.
There you go.
Well,
Right,
wow.
who thinks that the gun was real? I don't.
I do.
I think he just took it just to frighten her. See that? And let's be honest, I dropped dead.
Okay, but
But then these guys who are trained with these things, I mean, JB, what do you think? And see them all the time, they must know a real to a fake one. But you couldn't see it. You could only see the top. You could only see like what it was. You couldn't see the actual thing itself.
Well, it
So
didn't fit in that holster, did it? The holster
yeah,
wasn't.
and that's why he had it there, because it wasn't real. That's my thinking anyway. What
I
do you
don't
think,
know. I
Liz?
just think I'm not real sorry, but I think that if some dude came in my house, he probably wouldn't need a gun. I'd be like, "What up? Let's get some coffee and have a discussion about it. Like, I'm
Yeah,
Lainey. Nice to
well,
meet you. You're gonna like me by the time this is over with." But maybe I just don't. Why would you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Would they take a fake gun?
yeah, well, they're going into an old lady's house, and just to like shut it up straight away, rather than sit there and start to feel bad in some way if he had, you know, any scruples, like she was crying or something, and he's like, shut up, because he's in there, he needs to get out, he's now crapping himself. So he's like, shut up, or I'll, and so
Well,
she instantly like, oh, do you know what I mean?
yeah, but why? I don't understand. I
Just a
just don't
scare
think this.
factor.
Yeah, but I don't think this guy. I'm pretty sure this guy probably had a real gun, and
Just because of where it was. I mean, I've never used a gun in my entire life, but I
but
know not
Maggie,
to put it there.
you're from a different country, and it's been said. Even Lizzo said she looked up the placement of the gun, and what did you say, the Mexican mafia or
Mexican
something?
hold. It's a Mexican hold, it's known
Oh,
as.
yeah. So I
Oh,
mean,
so
even though
they sit
I've
there.
never seen it, but it
Okay.
obviously, you know what'd be interesting is when, because I do believe we're going to find the perp. I don't believe, sadly, we're going to find Nancy.
No, I don't.
What'd be interesting is when we find out his name, and all of us are going to be on our phones, on our computer. We're going to pull up more crap.
Oh, I
We
know.
will already have it, y'all, before the police or Brian Enton tells us anything. And to be able to see like pictures of him always wearing his gun like that, and we'll be like,
Can you imagine if it goes to court, what we're going to be like?
Well, I was
It's
watching
going
a
to blow
court
the
case.
internet up.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
watching
look,
a court
YouTube will
case
go off.
last week about they were trying a case with no body, and right before they went to court, they ended up finding her.
No, I'm not getting all
So
made up about it, because look at COVID.
I
I
know,
knew that
Maggie,
was
they
just
let
going to
us
take that
down.
play. I knew.
Fabian says, hey, people were afraid of box cutters on 9/11. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I know things have changed a lot, and it's not like if a guy came in here with a fake or real gun, I'm just not going to ask him, is that real? I mean, I'm just going to believe it's real, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's something there. I don't know. I just don't see a dude like that walking around and he's going to use a fake gun. I think if you're going to go in there to kidnap or to murder somebody, you're going to mean business.
But maybe it didn't. Maybe it just went wrong.
True. JH says he was trying to intimidate Nancy.
Yeah.
Fabian said, how was the gun supposed to be? Well, Fabian, you know how when people holster a gun, usually it's worn on their hip. Have you ever seen a holster worn in
Let me get the picture.
Yeah,
up.
can you get the picture up so we'll know what we're talking about?
It's very rare you see someone with it right in front of the crotch.
Yeah, I've never seen that. My dad used to wear a holster all the time, and holstered his gun. It was always a side iron strapped to his leg. The last true American cowboy. That's my daddy.
I mean, a lot of fellas would have been scared of it going off, and accidentally.
Oh, could you imagine him shooting his balls off? Now that would have been some good content right there. Oh my God, I hope it. Poop smear
I don't know
dirty.
whether. Oh yeah, they are. Have we got it on this one?
What's the chance she is alive? I do not think there's. I guess there's always a glimmer of hope, but I don't think she's alive.
Yeah.
I still think
so.
it was an abduction and then she died and they couldn't go through with it. JH says, the FBI says you can't sit down with it in the middle. Trust me. Good point. Good point. And Fabian says, I hold mine under my armpit. I think most people do that nowadays, but like old school people, like my daddy, it's still around his waist, y'all, strapped to his leg. I absolutely don't think she's alive, JH says. So this is the picture that Maggie put up, and it is believed, some people believe these are two different people. I believe they're two different people. Some people think it's the same night. Some people think that it is different nights. I don't know. But what I do know is placing a gun, whether it is a fake or a real gun. Now, I've heard a gun expert on one of the shows or a couple of shows talk about that, what type of gun this is. So I don't know. I guess it's like people who can identify a car that's speeding by. It just is a white car to me. I don't know enough about guns to be able to say what type this is. So it's just very unusual to see a gun being in that placement right there. That's what we're talking about. JB thinks it's two different jackets, but the same guy. Could be. Could be.
One of the jackets has got a star on it. You can just see it from underneath the strap. There's a black star.
Yeah. But see, do you remember I said it had something on the sleeve? I said, can you see like a patch, a sewn on patch?
Yeah, I remember I remember you doing that and zooming in on it, and I still couldn't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. JH says, yeah, same height and weight. I think it's the same guy.
But look at his, can you see his stomach there? Don't you think it looks like a beer gut?
Yeah, I've always said that I think the guy with the gun is younger than the guy without, because
the way
his
he's
body,
himself,
yes, and his shoulders are dropped down. I mean, we all know gravity takes its toll, including your shoulders.
And look at
his
the
shoulders
in both his pockets, like.
I see it.
I'm just looking at the shape.
Same thing on both of them. Same. They both have something in each pocket.
Yeah.
And to me, it does look like he has a beer belly. Because the way that the zip up goes kind of like over his belly and under it. And he's got weird shaped legs. I'm just saying, I mean, he's got those chicken legs that older men have. No offense, guys. I got chicken legs.
And look at his neck. I mean, I keep thinking I can see his face.
I think I can see
eyes
his face
and a nose and a mouth.
Yes.
Can you?
I think I see the same thing, but I think after looking at it for so long, you just wonder what you're seeing.
Can anyone see that?
It looks like he's got man boobies too.
I can see that face.
Angela says, your answer is that the world is way more dangerous. We won't know the motive, and it's in that crazy person's own mind. Right. We're just talking about it. We're just talking about different things. And I like when people come in and have a chat with us, because we've learned a lot about ways we all think. And we all think differently. I think we all bring something to the table. Are we going to go and solve this case and find Nancy? No. But when it's solved, and I do believe one day it will be solved, when it's, I don't believe they'll find her body, but when we find out who the perps, because I believe there's more than one, are, it'll be interesting to sit back and go, wow, we called that one. Wow. Like, I was so off about that. And believe you me, I absolutely hope that I'm wrong on everything that I think about this case. I want to be wrong completely, 100%. Like me, I have a trouble even thinking about that cartel did this. People think, there are people that have come in here and said, this is the Mexican cartel.
Mm.
And then they start talking to me about it. And I'm like, well, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Do I still believe my own theory? Yes, but I'm willing to entertain other theories. And that's what I like about conversations. And let's just face it, this isn't the only true crime case that's out there, nor is it going to be the last true crime case that we cover. And you kind of learn from each case for the next one, right? Don't you guys think so? Like
Yeah.
we'll learn something about this
To take
case
to the next one.
that'll take
Yeah.
us to the next one, and then we'll understand a perpetrator more. That's why at nighttime I'm covering the Jodi Arias case all over again and playing her testimony on the stand, because the Jodi Arias case always comes up at least once in a lot of these new cases that are coming out, and it's because we learned so much from that case.
Yeah.
So that's why we talk about it. That's why. Mary's okay, hold on. I see. John says, for all we know, she could be eating bonbons in Bolivia with Epstein. See, life is very strange. Nothing much surprises me anymore. See, everybody's got a different theory. And listen, the only theories I refuse to discuss is that aliens came and got her, because I don't believe in aliens, y'all, because I would be the first person abducted. Now, I live with people that believe in aliens. I was raised by people that believe in aliens, and I'm over here going negative. And then don't come at me that Trump went in there and did it. Other than that, y'all, I'm willing to entertain anything. Will it change my mind? I don't know, but it's still interesting to know how people think. Unless he's got some padding under his outfit. Now, some people I think JB, the FBI agent in here, thinks that he is the same guy on a different night, and he is carrying something underneath his jacket. Good to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Pat. No new information. No. Just going over some theories and the latest information that Brian Enton put out. An interview he did with a totally different neighbor and talking to the FBI. That's what we're going over. Question: what was the name of the plant pulled from the ground? I don't know enough about plants, y'all.
No, I haven't got a clue.
That would be interesting probably to ask Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara's the matriarch of our channel, you guys. She's highly respected here. She lives in Tucson, Arizona, and she lives about 20 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's house. She may be able to kind of look at it and see maybe what it could be. We'll write that down and ask Miss Barbara what kind of plant she thinks it is.
I think she's still alive.
Wow, do you really?
What makes you think that, Pat?
Michelle says, I haven't been watching your Jodi Arias because I'm familiar and watched it back in the day she was horrible and evil. That's okay. It's not everybody's jam. I was so shocked.
How long did she get, Lee?
Well, they were trying her for the death penalty, but the jury deadlocked twice. So the judge gave her life without parole. She's already exhausted all her appeals.
And how long ago was that?
18 years ago.
Oh my God, that long?
Yep. And I cannot believe the people that have never heard about that case. I can't believe it.
Wow. Well, I tried
shocked.
to watch it back, your last one, and it said the video, the live has ended. Is it being taken down?
The first live was taken down because I showed some of 20.
The last one you done?
No,
it just said the video was ended. I couldn't watch replay. Don't know whether you can now.
I don't know, or I don't know. I haven't looked. Christina says with a pacemaker. Let's see, Fabian. To be honest, that type of carry, which is called an appendix carry, is common with trained individual, easy access in close quarters, easier to conceal. Well, there's no concealing that.
You can't conceal that one.
I mean, that's like saying, here's my badge number. I mean, it's there's nothing concealed about that, whatever. And I want to know what trained individuals wear it like that, because not the police, not any kind of law enforcement, not my daddy, not the old cowboys. I've never seen anybody wear this.
I've never seen it
There's
worn
a
there.
few in chat think that it's still Tommaso.
Yeah,
Hi,
I
Deborah.
s-
Good to see you.
I still think so too. I mean, I was reading somewhere today, and it said on the likelihoods of who they think the suspect is. The top, the most likely is somebody close to her, somebody that she
I
knew,
believe it's
or
someone she knew very well. Yeah.
it's somebody she's connected to. So that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean family. It could be somebody
It
that
could be a
worked for
worker.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's definitely somebody she knows of.
Someone she's crossed paths with. Yeah.
Yes.
Someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's mess.
Yeah.
Scary, isn't it? Who you let into your house, you just don't realise, do you?
No.
I don't think it's the family, JB.
I still think it is, but like I was watching, there was that. Did you saw that video where Tommaso came out and shouted and told Mark he had to leave?
Yeah.
Asked him to leave. Did you
Charlie
not look?
walk.
Did you see him walk back? I mean,
Yeah.
very interesting walk that he had there.
Do you think?
To
I
me,
thought he looked too bad on his legs.
no, I think it looked exactly the same as the perp.
Oh, I need to have a look at that again then.
Let me pull this up really quick, because somebody in chat was talking about it. Let me make it as big as I could make it. I think it was Fabian. Look it up, appendix carry and the benefits. So let's take a look at this. This is what, to me, this is not what the guy's doing at all, but it says an appendix carrying holster are designed for fast draws and keep concealment. Well, that's so he's wearing a holster. He's not wearing,
God,
this is, let me bring up the picture. Can you guys see that?
yeah.
Okay,
Well, that looks like he's tucked it down his pants.
Right. So I could see right there, yeah, how that could be concealed because it's in your pants and your shirt's over it. But the way this guy is wearing it, he's
Just
actually
On the
swinging.
outside.
he's wearing a holster and it's swinging on the outside.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's a professional at all.
Like that
So-
appendix carry is hidden under the guy's top.
Yeah.
You know, he's lifted his top up, so he's got
They're
it tucked down
trying
his
to
pants and his
conceal-
top comes
yeah,
over it.
They're trying
This
to
perp's
conceal
got
it.
it on show for
He's not
everyone to see in
concealing
a holster.
Yeah. That's
You know,
what
it's not
makes me
covered
think
by
it's
anything. It's
fake.
hanging down in front of his middle bit.
Yeah.
Right. Let me look this. All right, let me take this off really quick. And then let me look up this. What was it called? A Mexican what?
reset.
Mexican carry, I think they said. Or the Mexican hold or Mexican carry, something like that.
Mexican carry. Okay, here it is. The Mexican
Welcome to the chat,
carry.
Rita. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, so they would call that as well. Hold on. Let me bring this up. I just typed in Mexican carry holster. Some of them are on the inside. I don't know if can you guys see this? Let me look back over the stream. Okay. I'm trying to find one that is kind of like.
Is that one there? Go second row. Third picture. I can't see it properly. Third picture. Just keep going, Lee, to the right. That one. What's that?
So this is on his hip. I'm trying to see. So this is
look that up now.
this Desperado one right here. This is the way my dad wore his, but of course his was slung over his hip further and tied to his. So the Mexican carry and the appendix carry, yes, are very much the same, but it's supposed to be on the inside. If you notice this guy right here, he's got a sidearm on his hip right here, and then he's got another gun holstered to the front of his hip. Nowhere am I
Not
seeing
in front of his package at the front.
Yeah, nowhere am I seeing that his bippy is being covered up whatsoever. And Lizzo hates that term, but other than this little dude right here, I mean, it's because he's got no waist, y'all. This poor little guy. His is kind of, close to his bippy, but it's not. I mean, we just aren't seeing.
No, I'm not seeing it held
I
where
mean,
he's
this
got
guy's
it.
packing completely. I mean, there's no way for his holster to swing over his bippy because, I mean, if you see it, you see it. Can't help it. It's right there in my face. But so basically, let's just be honest, you guys. Nobody is wearing anything on the front of their jeans unless it's
No.
down in their pants like this, where it is completely concealed. It may be called the same thing. I'm not challenging that. Yes, this is a appendix handgun carry. I don't know how this would be safe at all. I'd be scared if I had a bippy, y'all, and there was
I'd
a
be even
gun.
more scared having it tucked down my pants like that.
Having a gun pointed at your bippy like that. Y'all just
Lordy.
don't give a damn about your members. I'm telling you. Y'all got to protect the unit. Put it on your ass. All right. So there's that. Nowhere do we see anybody wearing. Let me just type in really quick pics of.
Okay, this is what I put, what type of person wears a gun hanging down right in front of their crotch without concealing it? And it says, a person who carries a gun fully visible, hanging down in front of their crotch and not secured in a traditional tight waistband holster is often described by gun enthusiasts as utilizing unsecured Mexican carry, a dated term or an improperly worn holster, which is widely considered unsafe and impractical by firearm safety. Based on discussions and analysis of this carry method, such individuals often fall into a few categories. And it says individuals influenced by media or movies, often younger or inexperienced, attempt this style because it is frequently depicted in movies and TV shows for theatrical purposes. Look at me, or intimidation factor. See? Similar to open carry, this method is often chosen by individuals seeking to show off a firearm, a macho image, or conversely to deliberately intimidate others rather than for practical, tactical, or defensive reasons. Inexperienced or careless handlers, experts point out that this is often done by those who do not own or want to pay for a proper high quality holster. It is commonly considered a lazy or cheapo method of carrying, often referred to as a Mexican carry, tucking a gun directly into the waistband without a holster. Then it's got negligent and unsafe because the gun is not secured. It is highly prone to falling out, slipping backwards, and potentially causing a negligent discharge, commonly hitting the femoral artery or causing self-inflicted gunshot wounds. So it looks like like I thought, it's for intimidation to scare her. But
Well,
who knows?
I mean, who knows? Anomaly is here. Good to see you, Love Bug. Said
Hi,
from the
Anomaly.
beginning who carries a holster like that. Big welcome to Rita Martinez. Says hello, new here, searching for Nancy Guthrie discussions. Thanks for allowing me in this chat. Girlfriend, pull up a seat, get you a coffee, and sit with us. Tell us what you think. We love it. It was the son-in-law or one of his friends. Pat says, listen, I think I'm reading from the same page that Pat's reading from. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I think I'm wrong. Anomaly says you don't see Mexicans carrying like that unless it's like a gold gun or something special. Yeah, you listen, y'all men, protect your units. Telling you, cannot believe a man would wear that gun in the front and it's like pointed right at their bippy. Oh God, I feel sorry for y'all. Listen, protect the family jewels. Protect them. Tucking a gun like that is just a last minute thought or a cheaper way to carry. Well, the gun expert did say that he, well, everybody has said, anybody that's any kind of law enforcement that's been asked about this on any of the shows that I watched, they say that that holster absolutely was not bought for that gun. It didn't come with the gun. That's just one of those shit ones that you can get from anywhere. He just needed a place to put it, and he was scared to put it in his pants, y'all. I don't drink alcohol, but cheers. It's beer time for Rita. Go ahead, girl. I'm gonna drink my coffee right here, and you do beer time. Willa says, no one of the family or friends took this woman. If it was, the FBI would have solved this already. Yeah, if they had been given the chance to, right? But I think they're, so now we know there's a task force that has been put together over in, help me out, ladies, Phoenix. Is it in Phoenix? And it is made up of homicide detectives and also the FBI. So listen, I think the sheriff knows more than what he has told and shared with the FBI because of the grudges that are being held. And the FBI is doing two deuces, which to me are not two fingers. It's two middle fingers up, saying we'll do our own search. Thank you. And that's why the FBI is backtracking everything. They're redoing, they're talking to all the neighbors again. They're redoing everything because they know that stuff is being kept back from them. And I think they will solve this crime. Fabian says, we all live in a world of different habits, and being comfortable the same way you brush is not the same way I brush my teeth. Thank God we're both just brushing our teeth. I get what you're saying, Fabian. Look, obviously there's somebody out there, we see him right there on the camera, that absolutely loves wearing a gun in front of his bippy. Okay? So I'm not questioning whether people do or don't. I can see it with my own eyes.
Maybe he's blew it off in a previous time and thought, well, there's nothing fucking there. I'll carry on. I'll might as well leave it.
Yeah, might as well do it. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying it's not a normal way people would carry their guns. That's all I'm saying. Welcome back, Patrick. Good to see you, love bud.
Oh God, I'm roasting.
Rita says, in my opinion, no man would wear his gun in that location unless it has unless he has a little sugar in his tank or it's a female. Listen, let's just talk about it for just 1 second. I'm going to make one more comment about this man's bippy, and then I'm going to shut the hell up about it. Listen, I cannot even glance at my husband's bippy without him crossing his legs and saying, what are you looking at? Like I'm going to hurt him from across the room. And then immediately when my dogs jump, automatically the butt goes out, he bends over because he knows they're going to rack him. Who's going to put a gun, hold their bippy hostage with the gun? That's basically what's happening, y'all. He is holding his dick hostage with a gun. I'm just going to say it. Lizzo, shut the hell up. You know you. It's the truth. You can't hold your babies hostage, people. Let them go. Free the balls. Free the balls.
What times Maggie needs me to bring my baby, Blippy? Patrick, whenever you're ready.
Blippy.
Any Blippy.
Anytime you're Bippy, for me. That's right. Bippy's matter.
Blippy. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
The Bippy, yeah.
Oh, is it a Bippy or a Blippy?
It's a Bippy. When my brother
Patrick's called it a Blippy.
Listen, it's better than what we used to call. So my mom told my brother he had a bippy. So I've always told my kids they had a bippy, right? My kids say they won't tell their kids they have a bippy because that's just disrespectful. They have a penis, which I cringe. But then I asked my mom when she started calling my brothers a bippy. I was like, well, what do I have? And she said a woobadang.
It's not
Oh
very
God.
nice,
What the
Google.
hell?
Not very
Y'all, my
nice.
mother gave me a woobadang. I
Well, why
did not
can't you
tell
just call it a todger?
I taught her that.
Pass, I asked the same question. I said the same thing, Pass.
Oh.
Oh, see the way this channel is? You can be talking
Yeah,
about one thing and then you'll go on to another.
the
Lunchy calls it
woobadang.
a bird.
I know I never heard Bippy. I thought Bippy were a kid's cartoon character.
I thought
Hi,
Bippy
Google
was,
user.
I don't know what I thought it was. I thought it was some type of object.
John says it's Big Jake and
It's
the
Big
twins.
Jake and the twins. Oh my. Google, you're talking about something completely different.
Oh dear.
Well, welcome everybody. We thank you guys so much for being here. I want to just give a shout out to our sweet Maggie, who is the co-host of this channel, and Lizzo is her co-host on this channel. We have a
I just
playlist.
dragged Lizzo with me, basically. She didn't have a choice. I just said, Lizzo, come on. You like
Come
this
on.
case as much as me. Get up here and help me out, will ya? She didn't have a choice. She became my co-host
Yes.
overnight.
And we do have a playlist. We've been doing lives on this since day one.
Hello,
Actually,
Will.
when it was all shooting off, we did 2 lives a day. It wasn't anything that any of us planned here. It just, things were coming out so fast. Lizzo, Maggie, and I are 5 hours apart. So while I was sleeping, they were getting news, so they would do a daytime live with it. While they're sleeping, I'm getting news, so I would do a nighttime live on it.
Yeah.
So we have
were
a
on it.
whole playlist. We were on
We
it.
were on it. We were on it
Mhm.
like a carb on it. Honest to God, we were like hot as
We were
anything.
all over that
She was
Bippy, like
going to
white
bed,
on
we were
rice.
getting up, and that's how
Yes.
we did it. We had chips, and you know
We
what? It was great, and then it just come to a halt.
just
And
come
we
to
were
a
like,
halt.
oh my
So
God, I couldn't get over it. The adrenaline was bursting my head open, and I was thinking, I can't cope. How's it come to a stop? And I thought it'll happen tomorrow. They're going to find it tomorrow. Every day I said
yep,
the same. And
every
we
day.
said, me and Lizzo said, we'll only go live now because we didn't want to bore everyone to death. So we thought, we'll only go live now if there's something happening. And there's never been anything happening.
Well, I think there's more things coming out though that can be talked about. I don't want
There
to
is
pressure you
little
to
things now
go
where we're finding
live.
out,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
there's stuff coming out all the time. You know, I'm hearing stuff all the time, but you just don't like to sort of discuss it if it can't be proven, you
If
know,
it
or
can't
if
be
it's
proven.
if it's
Yeah.
just hearsay. I don't like to sort of put it out there if it's just a hearsay thing.
Hi, Ian.
I've just
You,
been reading Patrick's. He says, "Hey, lunch lady, tell Maggie to pick the movie. I'll bring the snacks. We can skip dinner and go straight to the desert." I thought he said,
go
and
to
I thought, so this is in my brain. I'm thinking, why does he want to go to the desert? Why is he taking me to the desert? Is he wanting to do me in and bury
Bippy
me
for
in the
dessert.
desert? And then I realised he went to dessert. Yeah, definitely straight to the dessert, Patrick. Definitely.
Thank you so much for that, Pat. We think you guys are
Oh,
pretty great
this
too.
princess. Pleased to meet you, Maggie.
Oh, we love that
Oh.
name. All right. So, anyways, we have a whole playlist. You guys can check it out on Nancy Guthrie. And we do try to be factual. Like if we're putting
Yeah.
something out there, we let you guys know
Patrick.
this is our theory about it. This is what we're thinking. What do you guys think? But we do try to put whatever we know to be factual. Even if the sheriff's lying, y'all, we still put it out there. We tell you this is what the sheriff's facts are, y'all. But it means nothing to us because if his mouth's moving, that fucker's lying, and that's what we believe. Straight up.
What's a wonder? I mean, is a wonder just someone that's like homeless or something?
Is it a transit?
Yeah, a wanderer.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
they look more like homeless though? They didn't look
No, not
like they were
necessarily.
dirty or anything.
Not necessarily. We have a whole we call it tent row, and it's down by the river,
Yeah.
and there's homeless people that live there. they're not dirty, y'all. I mean, they don't live exactly. There's shit all over the
Yeah,
place,
but they do
but
look, yeah.
they don't look
But do
dirty.
you honestly think a homeless person will be able to pull something off like this and get away with it? You know, because I think that whoever's pulled this off, it's been very well planned.
Oh, I do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but you know what? No, see, that's what happens in my head. I start thinking, and then I think something else, and I think something else, and that's how I get like all tongue-tied and stuff. But I think the rational part of me would say, I think you're right. I don't see a homeless person being, now let's face it, I don't think these perpetrators are big time at all. But they have figured some stuff out. They figured out some stuff, and let's just face it, up till now we don't know who they are.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's that. So, but like you, I just don't think, oh, this is a homeless person. Most homeless people, I won't say it's going to offend people. I don't want it taken wrong when I say a lot of homeless people are fine to be left homeless. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I've gone into that camp before. I've given food, I've given clothes. They're thankful for that. If I offered them to come and stay the night with me, they would not do that. They won't
Mm.
go stay in the shelters that we have around the city because a lot of them are mentally ill and they don't do well with people. So I just don't see that kind of a homeless person like checking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're right about that, Liz.
Good night,
Good to see
Patrick.
everybody.
Have a
Good
good
night,
sleep,
Patrick.
love. And I'll see you again. And thanks for cheering me up and doing away with me in the desert.
If you're homeless, give us a like, JB. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
That's cute.
Well, listen, the time's cracking on, right?
It's
And I've got a
cracking
busy
on.
day tomorrow.
Well, then you
I've
know
got to
what?
get up and do my hair talk decent.
I'm gonna say goodnight and let you close this out. What I do want to say again is tonight we will be live again with part 4 of the Jodi Arias trial. She's on stand, and we're fixing to get into the part where they start
Murder.
talking about the murder.
Oh.
We've already been through the salacious stuff last night, listening to all of the phone sex, which, you know,
I missed that.
I'm not
Did you
against
read
phone
it?
sex.
Did you read them?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm not
Did you?
against phone sex. Oh yeah,
I
but you know
want.
what?
Can you?
That
I
was
want to
purely
read it.
bullshit. Oh, it's not even worth listening to. It's not. If somebody was going to give me that shit for free, I'd be like, give it to the next door neighbor. No, don't
Ian,
bother Mr. Joe.
Ian,
It
me
was
and you broke
terrible
up
phone
the other
sex.
day. I jibbed you the other day, Ian. I'm with Patrick now. Get over me.
All right. So I will be live tonight, Eastern Standard Time, midnight, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, going over part 4, Jodi Arias trial. And tomorrow we will be back, same time, same place, for Maggie's birthday celebration. I hope you guys will join
might
us.
be 9 o'clock though.
Well, I will be live, and we'll wait for your princess ass to get in here. How about that?
Okay. Because you
Okay.
know when I start gabbing, that's it.
Yeah, we know about the Gavin Mags. All right. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Do me a favor, hit the like if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later tonight, hopefully.
John.
Bye, guys. Bye,
Good
Mags.
night,
Bye, Lizzo.
everyone.
Love you.
Bye. Love
See you
ya.
later, Lenny. Love you. Well, thanks for coming, everyone, and being in the live with us. And we'll see you for the party tomorrow. Don't forget, you can wear your slippers if you want, ladies. If not, you can wear stilettos. It's exactly up to yourself. But if you want to be comfortable, leave those slippers on. And don't even have to make an effort. Come as you are, right? Just turn up and have a ball. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to have a laugh tomorrow. So, Ian, I'll see you tomorrow. You can have the first chance, okay? Stop you whinging at me.
Okay.
So, good night and God bless everyone.
Night, everyone.
Thanks for coming in.
Happy
And I'll see
birthday,
you.
Maggie, for half an hour. In
And
half
happy
an hour's
birthday
time.
to you, Gail, for 23rd. And I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Good night, John
Bye.
boy. Bye. You're getting
Bye.
so American. Can't even find the song.
Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, but she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Leanie. So thank you for your time. You are a friend of mine. I'll be happy to see you again on the next According to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time, love Leanie, love Leanie, love Leanie. Next time, love Leanie, love Leanie. Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, she needs you, and that's the beauty of According to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time.